This is the Vaguely Nerdy Podcast, where each week this brother-sister duo gets together to discuss the box office, latest film and TV scoops, our latest movie or show review, and what we're getting into next. We're your hosts,
Cheryl
and Jay.
So this week, we are reviewing the Marvel hit series. It was Agatha All Along. Now, I will say, I like that OG song better than I like the Witch's Road ballad. Sorry.
Oh.
This is a safe place. Is it okay for me to say that?
Sure.
Okay. It's got a little funky little beat. Anywho, I am on deck to quiz Jay this week. Are you ready?
Yes.
So, Jack Schaefer, who is the creator of the creator of both WandaVision and Agatha All Along, said there were 10 movies that had an impact on the series. And you ain't got to guess out 10 because we ain't got time for that. One of them is a Christopher Nolan movie. Can you guess which one?
10 movies.
Yes.
That had an impact on which series?
Agatha All Along. Oh, sorry, because I did mention WandaVision. One of them is a Christopher Nolan movie. Which one is it?
The Prestige?
Nope.
Interstellar?
No. I'm going to give you one more.
I feel like Inception would be too obvious.
Is that your choice? Because that's going to be four strikes.
He doesn't have that. Can't think of a parallel universe one. So I'm going to say Inception.
Memento.
Oh, super old.
Yeah.
Deep cut Chris Nolan.
Yes.
Guy Pearce Chris Nolan.
Which I guess I can kind of see.
It's Guy Pearce, right?
Yes, that is Guy Pearce. There's also a 2 witch movies on here. This is extra bonus trivia. One of them we have reviewed.
Oh, The Craft.
Yes.
What was the other one? Practical Magic?
Dang. That's...
Oh.
I should have gave that one, huh? Yeah. So I'll just read
guessed that.
I'll just read the 10. Arrival, which is interesting.
What?
I mean, it doesn't say why, but Arrival's on the list. Memento.
For all 10 of them to inspire this, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
But okay.
The Craft, Practical Magic,
Mm-hmm.
Witches of Eastwick. Oh, sorry, there's 3 witch movies on here.
Okay.
The Neverending Story, which...
It's not They're not all Christopher Nolan movies.
Oh,
right?
no. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
No.
I was about to say, what?
Sorry.
Okay, sure. Neverending Story.
The Dark Crystal. I don't know what that is.
We're looking imp people.
Okay. Labyrinth. You say that?
Just Labyrinth?
Just Labyrinth.
Nah, no Pan's Labyrinth.
The Princess Bride.
It's goofy. Okay. And
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Which I actually have never seen. So
is that Russell Crowe?
That is the one with Jim.
Mind.
Yeah, that's Jim Carrey.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is this movie where that song that everybody uses in every movie for every motivational movie comes from. The da-na, da-na, da-na,
okay.
They did it in Wonder Woman too.
Oh, yeah. I've actually, because that movie's like kind of sad, isn't it? Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Is that the Jim Carrey movie?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
It was his Truman era.
I would love for her to expound on all of these, but I don't have that explanation available for the show.
Okay.
That's the trivia and a little bit of behind the scene knowledge.
Nice.
All right, so let's get into our episode.
Welcome, fellow movie buffs. I'm Jay.
I'm Cheryl.
Listen in as we break down movie and TV shows, tell you what's in the plot, and hear if we think you should have watched it when you had the chance.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so we've got new movies, we got a trailer, and we got a full bunch of crunch. Not as full as last time, but it's still some good news in there. So let's start up at the top. It's not spooky season, although I think this came out in spooky season, like towards the end. But a new scary movie is coming. And I am somewhat surprised because it's been about 20 years since the first one. So Scary Movie is going to be back for its 6th installment. The Wayans brothers are back. Okay. So a little behind the scenes there. They were only involved in the first 2.
Yes, that is true. You can tell watching them.
Yeah, you are right. You're right. If you've not seen any of the
third
scary,
one is not unwatchable.
You know, there's 5 of them.
Yeah,
I stopped after 2.
I stopped after 3. 3 was The Signs.
Oh, with Queen Latifah was in that one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I stopped after 3 then. I did not see 4 and 5. Mm-mm. And 3, I don't even remember.
And then it turned into like epic movie and disaster movie.
You're right. So Scary Movie kind of kicked that off though, right? That whole parody of like
super fast
genre of movies. Yes. Okay. So the Wayans brothers are confirming that they will be doing the new reboot. It will be going to theaters, so no streaming over here. And if you didn't know, the first Scary Movie came out in 2000, so it is a very, I think it's a cult classic though. The first two for sure, I would say. I ain't seen them in a long time.
The first two scary movies are absolutely.
Yeah, everybody was kind of like, is Regina
100%.
and Anna Faris coming back? Because if not, keep it.
Yeah, Regina Hall and Anna Faris need to be in it.
I feel like they gotta come back. And like I already said, the Wayans brothers wrote and directed the first two movies, and then I already mentioned that they had actually left the series after the first two because they could not come to an agreement with the studio. So they said they didn't leave it, like they didn't leave it behind.
What was scary movie? Warner Brothers?
Miramax, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay.
So it's funny you said Warner Brothers first. You just assumed it was Warner Brothers because
Tale as Old as Warner Brothers.
Why
time.
not?
But
Right? Why not? So that'll be. There's so many scary movies that have come out in the last 24 years that they could pick and choose from.
Yeah, it's been long enough now.
I
hope they can do Long Legs.
They could Long Legs, The Conjuring.
They can do when
Hereditary.
Scary Movie came out, it was slasher horror. We didn't have Jordan Peele elevated horror to make fun of back then. So we can get some Nope, some Hereditary, some Us parodies.
Yes, you already said Long Leg. They could do all the Maxines. Well, the Maxines.
Yeah.
Saw.
Mm-hmm. They can do themselves.
They can do that, right? There's so many. What's the other ones? The First Omens.
Yeah, First Omen.
The one.
The Substance. They're probably gonna do the Substance.
They're probably gonna do the Substance. There's so many. I just hope it's like the first one where it wasn't cheesy. It was just actually just funny.
Yeah.
To make fun of those. So hopefully it's more of that and less of kind of what like The Blackening was.
No.
But as funny as I wanted it to be.
The Blackening, they're still supposedly getting a sequel.
I will watch it. I'll give it a second chance.
I still think that even though I didn't find The Blackening particularly funny, I think that it deserved a sequel because many other films got sequels.
Well, and a lot of people, I think we are in a minority and that we didn't particularly care for it as much as we wanted to.
No, and I was looking at The Blackening with my scary movie lenses, and I think that's why I didn't enjoy it as much.
Yeah, and The Blackening wasn't a parody movie, but it had like, you don't think so?
It was.
Okay.
It was a parody on like black tropes.
Okay, there you go.
And
yes.
scary movie tropes. Black
You're
people
right.
in scary movie tropes. Yes.
You're right. So we don't have a release date. I think it's next summer when it's coming out.
I mean, they don't need a lot of time.
They can film this in like a month.
Yeah. And it's parody.
Low editing. So
I mean, it's parody. I'm interested to see what the budget is like.
$20 million. $80
I mean,
million. I want people to get paid. So let's say 80.
Yeah. I'm interested to see what the budget is like because movies are different now. It's not the 90s.
You're right.
Movies look more expensive. So to parody them correctly is going to be more costly.
Right. Because they're going to probably do a lot of supernatural stuff.
Yes.
Because Scream was just practical.
Everything's got visual effects now.
Yeah. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
It's probably going to make $1 gazillion though because we all like scary movie. We loved it.
People are going to line up to see this.
And we know the Wayans brothers are behind it. So
yeah.
All right.
And it's going to be R-rated, so it's probably coming for that highest grossing R-rated film bag. So we'll see if Deadpool and Wolverine still hold that crown.
You think it's going to make that much money?
Scary movie?
You think so?
A comedy? Just a straight comedy?
Yeah.
And rewatchability? Probably.
You
and
definitely
the Wayans brothers? Yeah. And if it's marketed correctly.
I support that cause.
That's important. Marketing is important.
I support.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Just don't be like Apple TV.
Yeah.
So we'll see. As we learn more, we will definitely be sharing it on the podcast. Next up, something I didn't watch, but people really liked it. Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan series is now getting a movie. Now, not very often do series then become movies. And there's another series that's becoming the movies that will make
Is Jim going to be playing them?
Yep. So Jim is coming back. Jack Ryan was a 4-season show on Amazon Prime. I always kind of was going to get into it. Like I was going to get into Jack Reacher and I still have not. But it was pretty popular. It is one of the 3 most watched shows on Amazon Prime. So it makes sense that they would, I guess, make a movie instead of making a 5th season. But whatever. I don't make the decisions.
Maybe because they don't plan on doing anything else after this.
You don't think they would make more movies if it was good? If it did
maybe more movies. I don't think they're going to do any more seasons.
Because then you would be going back backwards
Yeah.
a little bit. That would be weird. So John Krasinski is returning as Jack Ryan. Wendell Pierce and also Michael Kelly, who we both like, will be reprising their roles. Now, I admitted that I did not watch this, so I don't know what those roles are, but yay for both of them.
Yeah.
And I'll check it out. I like John Krasinski.
Yeah.
I didn't watch any of this. Now, I wonder if you're going to have to watch the series to watch the movie. That's going to be a little difficult. Like, I wonder if it's a continuation, because then you would be like, who's going to watch
that wouldn't be smart to
seasons?
do. No, they should just do like a new, I don't know, I'm not sure if there's like a continuous villain throughout the series, but if it is, they should do fresh.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, they can have,
check out at that point.
He can have his pre-existing history. It just doesn't matter for the movie.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that'll be interesting. But John Krasinski hasn't been in a movie since
Wanda popped his head off and
he turned him into spaghetti.
Yeah, because he stopped being in the Quiet Place films.
Right. Yes. Well, I guess he's moved behind the scenes then. So
yeah.
I say he's not been in anything. He just hasn't been on the screen and anything. So that'll be interesting. If it looks good, like Jay like to say, I need to see a trailer.
And he did If.
He directed If.
Yeah. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So he's in this.
So he does more behind the
scenes bag.
Yeah.
Now he's kind of like, I want to be in the front like my wife. All right. Speaking of action movies, Idris Elba is going to be starting in a new movie called Hammer Down. Don't like the title, but I don't care. It's Idris Elba. He is going to be teaming up with Simon Hatt. I think that's how you say it, with 2 T's at the end.
Yep.
Sorry, Simon. Who worked on Guardians of the Galaxy movies and in the Suicide Squad. So they previously have worked together in the Suicide Squad movie. Idris Elba will be playing Mac.
Wait.
What?
Oh, okay. Idris Elba's Suicide Squad movie. Okay.
Oh yes, not the first.
It gives me more confidence.
Ain't that confusing? Because there's
Yeah.
Suicide Squad and there's the. I ain't gonna not getting on that soapbox. Anywho, Elba will be playing Mac, who is a no questions trucker, and they are transporting he's transporting goods with his daughter, aka she need to be Storm Reed from the Suicide Squad, because I love that little interaction. So anyway, he brings his daughter on his transporting goods mission. They're tracked and attacked by a relentless group of criminals who wants the goods he's been hired to deliver. Pursued by criminals and the police, Mac and his daughter must go to work to prevent the cargo from falling in the wrong hands. It sounds okay. It sounds Gerard Butler-y.
Yeah. Sounds like Plane. Or whatever movie they just came out with. It's just Truck. They should just change it to Truck.
It's called Truck Hawk Down.
Semi
Hawk Down.
Yeah.
That's funny. We don't have any release date on this movie or when it's coming out, but I like Idris Elba. I haven't seen his show Hijack yet though, which got renewed, and I think he got an Emmy nomination for that.
It's on Apple?
No, it actually might be on Apple.
Well, that's probably why you haven't seen it.
I think you actually might be right.
It's easy to forget about things on Apple.
Yeah, but you know.
You don't have an iOS device for them to constantly push ads
right.
to.
But Idris Elba's doing stuff under that. It might not blow up. That he's also a DJ.
Yes.
Pretty good DJ. He been doing stuff under the radar. So I ain't mad at it. Like everything he does might not be like a tentpole movie, but I appreciate the fact that he's keeping his filmography dispersed.
Nice.
So next up, another action movie that also sounds like something you've probably seen before. Hu Quan is going to star in a Christmas action movie called Fairy Tale in New York. So this director is Jalamari Helander. Sure. Right. Y'all already know. I butcher names. This director was the same director of the movie Sisu. If you don't know what Sisu was.
John Wick
Boom.
Against Nazis in Germany with the furry white dog that did not die.
It did not die?
Yeah, they put in the trailer the dog does not die in this movie.
Oh, that's
like
good.
That's like in the tagline.
Now I do remember this trailer was playing in front of John Wick, which I thought was like, I mean, obviously, we are the target audience, but I did not actually end up seeing that movie because it looked too much like John Wick.
It looked too much like John Wick, and I think the only time I saw that ad was in front of John Wick 4, and I never saw any other advertisement for it after that.
It kind of came and went.
It did. Looks like it got a 94% critic on Rotten Tomatoes and an 88% audience. So
maybe you should check it out.
Checking out. Yeah.
Okay, Sisu. Well, this is in good hands then. Well, for the director. The producer is Beau Flynn, who is behind Red Notice, Black Adam, and Jungle Cruise. Those movies all have something in common. which makes me a little worried.
Wait, what are those movies again?
Yeah, you were kind of like, that sounds familiar. Red Notice, Black Adam, and Jungle Cruise.
Is The Rock going to be in this?
No, I don't know. Might as well be, right?
Probably.
Might as well be. I mean, this sounds like it could be a Rock movie, because let me read the synopsis. The story is set on Well, you know what? He probably like, I want to do 2 Christmas movies. So I get it. I get it.
Is this coming out this year?
No, there's no release date. But the story is set on Christmas Eve in New York City, and it centers on an unassuming cab driver played by Hu Quan, who takes the last ride before going to celebrate the holidays with his estranged son. After a run-in with criminals, he embarks on a relentless pursuit to retrieve his kid's priceless Christmas gift.
He's in his Arnold Schwarzenegger era.
I was gonna say
his bloodless, high octane action goofy films.
Yeah, or like Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis films aren't bloodless.
Okay. I love Die Hard, so I ain't hating.
Yeah.
Die Hard with a Vengeance is one of like my favorite movies.
This movie and the Love Hurts movie sounds like The Last Action Hero. Or
even the movie before this with Idris Elba, honestly. With the truckers, both these movies sound the same. A little similar. But good for Hu Quan. And he's
good.
And he's not just doing
Arnold Schwarzenegger became governor.
Okay.
So it wasn't a dig. I'm just saying, it's just, this reminds me of when I was a kid watching all of those
actiony movies.
Those Arnold Schwarzenegger. True Lies wasn't bloodless.
True Lies was a good movie though.
It was a great movie, but all of those kid-friendly Arnold Schwarzenegger
what's
action
the one,
films.
Jingle All the Way.
Yes.
That is the movie this reminds me of.
Yeah.
But this one's probably going to be... I wonder if
his Love Hurts movie looks kind of like that too.
Yeah. I wonder if this is going to be like for lack of a better comparison, I wonder if it's going to be like a John Wick or if this is going to be like a Love Hurts.
This is going to be like a Love Hurts.
You don't think we going to turn it to rated R when he's trying to like chop people's head off for this gift? Like, give me my kids'
I don't think
gift.
Hu Quan is going in that direction quite yet.
Okay.
No.
That would be interesting though.
It would be. Yeah.
I would like to see it. All right. So as we know more about this one as well, we will let you know if this don't open up on a Christmas holiday. Then I don't know what we's doing because it's a Christmas movie. Next up, another new movie announcement. This one is an alien invasion movie. So we get a lot of variety here, folks. It's going to be called Alpha Gang. Now the cast list is pretty stacked. Kate Blanchett, Dave Bautista, Steven Yeun, Zoe Kravitz, Lea Seydoux, Riley Cohen, who I'm not sure who that is, and Channing Tatum. And this is interesting because 2 of these people was in engagement. They just broke up. So filming is going to be quite interesting.
Oh, that is very interesting. Okay, so I like the cast.
Yes.
Cast sounds fun.
It's alien invasion, so it's a comedy. If y'all was thinking this was like a serious movie.
And what's the premise?
The film follows alien invaders who disguise themselves as 1950 bikers on a mission to conquer Earth. It sounds fun. It sounds like something else though, but I can't put my finger on it.
The Mars Attacks?
There it is. But they weren't bikers. But they were still trying to take over.
It was still a goofy alien invasion. I don't know if this is going to be as unserious as Mars Attacks, but...
It's giving Mars Attacks.
Mars Attacks was like goofy.
Dave Bautista.
I mean, this looks like it's going to be funny. It's interesting. I'm very interested to see...
Channing Tatum.
I'm very interested to see a trailer for this because it sounds like it's going to be like a comedy that's played straight because a lot of these actors are like serious actors.
Okay.
Or like dramatic actors. Lea Seydoux.
Everybody has been in something that's been serious.
Kate Blanchett has the ability to be goofy.
She can turn it on and off. Right.
Dave Bautista, sure. Steven Yeun, sure. Channing Tatum is more of a comedic actor.
Right, but we've seen him serious. He can do
serious, yeah.
I'm giving straight goofy. I ain't giving no type of seriousness in this.
I'm interested to see a trailer for this.
I wonder if they're going to...
Why 1950s? Well, I mean, they have to pick a prominent biker gang era, I guess.
Right. I'm wondering if they're going to have like an alien form that they flip back and forth. Or if it's just going to be straight up, they look like humans.
Probably. They could be like skins from like Roswell. Where they just like kill you and take your skin.
Oh, okay. Hopefully there's no mass murder here. We'll see. It sounds fun. It's a original movie that is not, I don't think we have anything else that's super similar to
And no
this.
director is attached to it yet?
Let me double check. Checking. I think so. The Zellner brothers. Have you heard of them before?
No, I have not.
Okay. So a pair of brothers who gonna do the thing. I mean, they gotta be good to get all these people in this movie. somebody saw like the Who brothers, sign me up. So as we learn more, we will get into it. Next up, oh wait, that's it for our news.
All right, so that is all the news for this week. Let's roll into the trailer pod.
Toot toot. Beep beep. I really was about to roll into some news with no bullet point.
So we only have one trailer this week, but it's mostly just a mashup trailer. And it is the Marvel Studios Disney Plus slate for 2025.
Yay.
So they shadow dropped this in front of the Agatha first episode on
which was
Disney
weird.
Plus, which was weird.
Why was it like maybe they anticipated people were going to start the series over doing rewatches? I don't know.
So word spread on Twitter.
Somebody watched. Somebody was like, "Hey guys, there's
and then
a trailer."
I think they officially dropped it like an hour after that.
Yeah,
after people ran to Disney Plus to watch it.
The intern was like, "I'll do it, guys. Don't worry. I'll push the button."
Yeah, so it's a super trailer, which is a mashup of clips and scenes from the upcoming 2025 MCU animation and television slate.
Yes,
no
so
movies.
No movies.
All shows, live action or animation. We got What If Season 3, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, Daredevil Born Again, Ironheart, Eyes of Wakanda, Marvel Zombies, and Wonder Man.
So what's funny about this entire list is that, remember when Bob Iger was like, we're doing two shows and 3 movies a year. Mm-hmm. Is that going to be in like 2026? Because it's like 9 projects.
Yeah, and it's also
without the movies.
And big movies come out next year too.
Yeah. So first of all, not complaining because Marvel content is always good for us. And I'm very excited to see Wonder Man, which is not coming out for another year in 2 months. So it's like the last one on the list. So I guess What If is actually coming out this year. So that's the one thing on the list that's coming out around Christmas. And then we get, we already knew Daredevil was in March. Spider-Man's going to come in January. I'm not sure how big of a chatter is around the Spider-Man because Spider-Man's animated.
I'm excited about it now that I've seen it because it looks like it's 3D cel shaded. So it looks like it's hand-drawn 3D animation.
Is it similar? Would you say it's similar to the intro of, not the intro, but the scene in the Marvels?
Yes. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So if you've seen the Marvels, there's a scene where Kamala is
kind of narrating her own comic, I guess.
Yes. So it looks like that. It's that style of animation. And then Ironheart is coming out in the summer in June. We have Eyes of Wakanda coming out in August. But Eyes of Wakanda, I think, is only 4 episodes.
Yes, 4-episode anthology series that tells different heroes of Wakanda through different time periods.
Right. Which, I mean, I'm down for it. It's 4 short. Episodes. Yeah. So I wonder if they're going to just drop them all at once. Yeah.
Please don't do that weekly.
Why not? We don't think we'll have weekly chatter about
weekly 30-minute episodes.
Who says they're 30 minutes? Maybe they're 44 minutes.
The first episode will be an hour. The middle 2 will be 37 minutes, and the last one will be 42 minutes.
Are you describing Agatha All Along?
All MCU shows.
Marvel Zombies, which we got pictures of a long time ago. I think I'm also excited about Marvel Zombies. There is a clip of Moon Knight Blade. Mm-hmm. Everybody is like, oh, is Mahershala gonna actually be I mean, he gotta be, right?
That's so funny.
He gotta be voicing Blade.
So we've gotten every director is making a vampire movie before Blade, and now even Blade is showing up before Blade.
It's kind of crazy, but
funny.
It would be crazy if it's not Mahershala. Hopefully it is. And then we get Wonder Man, which comes out December at the very end.
I wouldn't. I mean, it doesn't have to be at this point because ScarJo and Chris and the rest of them don't voice their characters. So
you're right. Some of them in What If do not, but it feels so much better when they do. Because
I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't.
Particularly like the Chris Evans copy.
I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't.
Yeah, it's probably not. But if everybody's like,
I think that's fair.
Is it? We'll know beforehand.
Yeah.
If somebody's going to leak it. Like, no, it's not him. He moved on, y'all.
So what if in Marvel Zombies have the same animation? They look alike.
Yes.
But very interested to see that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wonder why I guess this one's going to be the TVMA animated one.
Marvel Zombies is supposed to be a little more adult.
Yes. So this is supposed to be their adult rated series. So interested to see that.
I mean, zombies. I mean, you're going to take it there.
That's probably the only MA thing about it is that they have to animate
blood,
chopping up people,
bones and heads being chopped off or something.
Yeah. Usually don't do that in Marvel stuff. So
no.
Wonder Man looks interesting.
It does.
I want to see the fantastical part of it.
Like him in a suit and whatnot.
Or doing some power stuff.
So I wonder if the story is he is auditioning to be, he's Simon Williams. Mm-hmm. He's auditioning to be Wonder Man. Mm-hmm. Something happens to him, like an accident, and then he actually becomes Wonder Man.
That's what happens in the comics.
Okay.
He's an actor.
And I also hope, and I know this is like a one-off, supposedly a one-off series. I hope this connects to something else. In particular, somebody else. But I doubt it.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not. No, because they already made Vision Quest the third part.
But
so
I want to. Okay, can it connect to something? Anything? Can it not just be like, "Hey, here's Wonder Man. Goodbye, Wonder Man."
Probably.
Everybody else is connected.
To worse.
Sure. Absolutely.
I don't know. I don't know where an actor fits in this world. We need to know who his villain is or what the foil of this show is. That'll let us know how it connects.
There's a character in the show called the Grim Reaper. Who's his brother?
Yes.
That's probably our villain? Are you saying, or no, we don't know yet.
Wait, the Grim Reaper's in this? That's interesting.
Yeah. No? Villain? Not villain?
Well, I mean, he's a villain in
the comics,
but
he might not be a villain.
They have very, very close ties to WandaVision. I mean, to Wanda.
Hello. So we don't know. As we get synopsis about all of these shows, we'll definitely bring you more. But we'll probably definitely review, I would say, a good chunk of this.
At least he lives.
Ooh.
Because in the comics, Wonder Man died before Vision.
Oh.
That's how they made Vision. They used Wonder Man's brain patterns to give Vision human thought.
Right.
And that's why the Grim Reaper was pissed and wanted to kill Wanda and
Vision. All I'm saying is, this is in between Agatha and Vision Quest.
So
I mean, I feel like we should do
probably means that Wonder Man won't die.
A little sneak peek of something in between. I'm just saying. Yeah. I'm just saying. So we'll definitely probably review. I think most of this, if not a full episode, we'll at least watch it and tell you guys our thoughts about it.
Yeah.
Really liked What If season 2. So hopefully season 3 matches up to that.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I like season 2 better than season 1 actually. So
visual effects for Ironheart looked really good.
The suit
series. Mm-hmm.
The suit.
I like the white suit.
You know what? I actually wanted to almost watch Iron Man again because I missed the suit sounds.
Yeah.
We don't get no, clink, clink, clack, 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 clack. We don't get that no more.
I wonder if the hood is
going
to be like magical, like he is in the comics.
Supposedly Mephisto is showing up in this. Supposedly.
I mean,
is that where
the
he would
hood
get his
isn't.
power
The
from?
hood, like the Darkhold, is an ancient evil artifact.
Okay.
The hood gives you teleportation and it's strange. It's magical. So the hood gives you like magic powers.
That would be cool.
And the hood is a villain.
And I know everything's supposed to be grounded nowadays, but this would be cool if it wasn't totally grounded. Like, did Daredevil have some kind of mystical mist in it? A little bit? No.
I mean, he had his what do they call them? The Defenders.
Okay.
And Iron Fist in them. So
okay. So we could.
Daredevil's got like a comic run with Wanda right now. So
let me tell you something. As much as Wanda got mentioned in Agatha All Along, come on with it.
Yeah.
Come on with it. All right, we'll see. But that is it for our trailers. Let's dive into the Bunch Crunch.
Okay, first scoop of crunch we have this week is the next Jumanji film is going to release on December 11th, 2026. So now that you have the date, you can put it out of your mind because it's so far away.
I ain't seen. This is the third one, I think.
I hope they go back to board game Jumanji.
Yeah, right.
They're not.
Please. They're going to. You know where they're going? I'll give you one
VR
guess.
Jumanji?
Space. I was going to say space. They're going to space. Why not?
They already did that, Zathura.
They didn't do that in Jumanji, though.
It's just basically the same thing.
Hey,
but
it ain't got to be original nowadays.
I think the world would appreciate some board game Jumanji.
And
they can sell physical copies.
I don't think
they can sell merch.
As somebody who has not seen these Jumanji movies, I highly doubt that they are better than the original. Yes, I said it.
No, they're not. No.
I
mean, they're just CGI fest of like explosions and Kevin Hart screaming.
I mean, they do make money though.
They make a lot of money. So people really, really, really love them. But yeah. I mean, they should go back to OG Jumanji.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
I might actually watch it.
Yeah, cast Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah, she might be like, no, thank you.
She said she would come back from Mary Jane. She said she's got bills to pay and kids to put through school.
I ain't mad at her.
So
I ain't mad at her.
Cast Kirsten Dunst. Cast everybody who's alive who was in the original Jumanji that you can get back.
If they do that, I would be like 2 tickets, please.
Yeah, do Kirsten Dunst and her kids
because
she kept the board, or they discover. She has 2 kids who discover the board game somewhere.
Well, you know the original cast of this is coming back though, so they would have to add them to the list.
Original cast of what?
The other Jumanjis.
The reboot Jumanji?
Yes.
Sure.
You said add 3 more people.
Sure.
She could be their guide through the game.
Yeah. Oh, boo.
Okay.
Not through the video game, the board game.
Yes, correct. The board game. That would be good.
That would be really good.
Oh,
and Kirsten would do it.
It's not going to be that. I'm already disappointed. And the movie ain't even out yet.
Yeah.
Are y'all listening? Can y'all do that instead? Y'all ain't started filming
that'd be really
yet.
good.
I like it.
Yeah. And they can set it, and they can make it a period movie because they can't make it present day.
No, I mean, don't they be hopping and jumping different places in the other movies?
Kirsten Dunst is a human child. So.
Yeah. Huh. I like your idea, though. We're going to have to put that in. We're going to have to submit that as a letter to somebody. To be like, whatever idea y'all got, we got a better one. Yeah. Make this one instead. Okay, next up we have more additions to the I Love Boosters movies. I'm going to butcher these names, and Jay going to back me up, hopefully. So here we go. Eliza Gonzalez, Will Poulter, Poulter, sorry. Taylor Page, got that one right. And Poppy Lou are going to join the cast of Boost Riley's I Love Boosters. So I wonder, this is a lot of people in this movie now. I wonder if it's going to be rival crews.
Well, the description just says a ring of boosters.
So maybe it's like Gone in 60 Seconds.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can see
they
that.
stole cars. They could be stealing purses.
If y'all have not started the script, Gone in 60 Seconds.
Gone in 60 Seconds is really good.
Just do Gone in 60 Seconds. Mm-hmm. It was really good.
Okay, well, that's all for that one. Next Scoop of Crunch we have is David Fincher is reportedly developing an English language version of Squid Game. Boo.
David.
I mean, I have the same feelings about them doing the English language version of Parasite. And when the director, Bong Joon-ho, went up there and got his award, he said, well, if y'all get past the 1-inch limitation of subtitles, you discover so many great movies out there.
I don't understand why David would do this.
Squid Game is such a hit.
Oh, okay, the live action.
Who can't read?
But the reality show, right? You talking about the reality show is a hit?
No, the actual series Squid Game is a hit. The reality show is a hit as well.
Right.
Yes.
But why would we need a movie about that? We just watch the show.
Yeah, no.
Like, really, what is the movie gonna be about? I don't even.
Well, this is a movie? This is dumb. Yeah.
I don't understand. Also, David, why?
I wonder. I mean, maybe it's gonna have a different storyline. I can't imagine it's gonna be a 1-to-1 reboot, but English language.
I can't imagine why this is being made. But it's Netflix, so.
But I mean, I can see how they could make it. It's basically the Hunger Games, because every Squid Game episode is like a game, but they stretch the length of the game out across the episode, so they can shoot through a bunch of games in one movie in a 2-hour film. But it's stupid. I think it's stupid and unnecessary.
I just don't. Wait, hold on. I had to back up from what you were saying. There's a reality show game and there's the TV show.
Yeah, they're both. You didn't know that?
I mean, I knew that, but when you said it, I was like, oh, he must be talking about the same thing. But then my mind was like, no, we already got 2 things about this.
Yeah, well,
do we need a movie?
The show is the show, and season 2 is coming.
Right,
the reality show is the period
reality
of the show where they just make people do the task from the game. Yeah.
Oh, you're right. And now we getting a movie.
And that's English language.
Right, because the original creator was probably like, we're not doing that.
The reality show is English language. And Mr. Beast, I think, is being sued right now for doing his knockoff one on Amazon. So.
David Fincher know better. And I don't know what's going on, but maybe the check was too big to say no. So whatever. I wonder if it's going to be like a Dark 7 type situation.
Squid Game is pretty dark.
I still don't think it's a good idea, but maybe that's why. Because David Fincher does like 7. Or The Killer.
He also did The Killer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
Okay.
As we learn, when the trailer come out, we'll let y'all know.
Next Scoop of Crunch, we have a new Godzilla movie being made by Toei. It's going to be directed by Takashi Yamazaki, who is the director of Godzilla -1. So that's not surprising.
I think this is interesting because, well, I guess that's okay. Because we had Godzilla X Kong And then we had Godzilla -1 going on at the same time.
The Western Godzillas make a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Godzilla -1 made a bunch of money.
Yeah,
and
because
got an Oscar.
Yeah, because it caught once people started watching it, it got a really good word of mouth.
Got a black and white version, went to Netflix, blew up some more.
Right.
So yeah.
Right.
Doesn't make sense.
Good for him.
I wonder if it is going to be a continuation of Godzilla -1.
I haven't seen it, so I don't know how it ends. Well, Godzilla probably don't die, I would assume. Like for real.
No.
So okay, you can always have a sequel.
I mean, they always leave a stinger of like him coming back or something
egg
like that.
or something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because the first one was so successful and people liked it so much, it's cool that this one's getting a sequel.
Yeah.
So good for him.
So next Squid Crunch, Ridley Scott says he's developing a new Alien film. Yay!
Alongside the Alien Romulus sequel?
Yeah. Ridley Scott Alien films are sci-fi movies. Fede Alvarez Alien films are horror films.
Okay.
So
I
think there should be a good balance. Because I was excited about getting another Fede Alvarez one, but then I was like, oh, but his version of Aliens are horror films.
Yeah.
And I do enjoy the sci-fi element of Alien.
You know, Ridley Scott had a bone to pick with the franchise because they didn't ask him to come back and do the second one. Remember, there's this whole...
Ridley Scott did not like a lot of James Cameron's additions to the Alien franchise. In particular, he did not like the Alien Queen, which was weird because that's like the most memorable part of that movie.
Yeah.
There
was this news came out of an article, an interview that he did about, I guess, like his previous work or whatnot, and it was mentioned once again that like he didn't feel too good about not being asked to come back. So this is good. He's back into the fold. But Fede Alvarez definitely said that he worked or got his blessing for the Romulus movie. Sure, I'll take it.
I watched Prometheus not that long ago.
You rewatch movies, Quinn.
And it's really good.
Did I see? Yeah, I saw Prometheus.
Did you?
No, what was the last? I saw Covenant.
Okay, so Covenant comes after Prometheus. You need to watch Prometheus.
What's his name? Michael Fassbender's in both, right?
Yes.
That's why I get him confused.
Ridley Scott did Prometheus.
Okay.
It is the first movie to all of the Alien movies.
Okay.
He went back and made a first movie.
Is Idris Elba in that one?
Charlize Theron, Idris Elba, Benedict Wong.
Oh.
Numi Rapace.
Why did I not see this?
The guy from Upgrade. Guy Pearce.
Hey,
Michael Fassbender.
Right.
The villain from the last Mission Impossibles.
Okay,
I know. The guy with the raspy voice.
I like him.
Yeah, really great cast in Prometheus. And Prometheus had, even though they all died like idiots, because that's part of the course for Alien films.
Of course.
They were the most professionals. It was more of a, because the point of the movie is to go discover our makers.
Okay.
But we find out we have a connection to the xenomorphs, so.
Because the original idea that Ridley Scott had, I think you told me this, was that the aliens created Jesus and sent him to Earth, right?
Aliens created humans. And then he created mankind.
Right. Yeah.
And that's the opening scene of Prometheus.
Uh-huh.
And after a while, they sent down a representative.
Okay.
To teach humankind about the reason we were made. But they rejected the teachings, and that is how the legend of Jesus came.
I was like, Jesus is somewhere in the story.
In Alien lore, in Ridley Scott Alien lore, that is how the legend of Jesus spread across the world.
Right, which I thought was like interesting. So whatever Ridley Scott been holding on to for all these years for another movie, I'm very excited.
And that is why in Prometheus, our makers wanted to kill us because
we were stupid.
We killed Jesus. And they were like, experiment failed.
Terminate
them.
Mission canceled. Yeah. I'm very curious of whatever. I'm sure he already knows like what it's going to be.
Oh, yeah. He's good. Like that to pull that out of your mind. And the budget going to be, you have to have ideas.
Budget going to be $500 million. I don't care.
Yeah. The Alien movies, somebody had made a statement and was talking about how it's crazy to turn Alien movies into horror films because they don't make that much money. And horror films are
supposed to be like low budget.
Successful horror films are low budget.
Yeah.
But Alien's a legendary name.
Listen, we're in 2024. Budget is like a social construct.
Yeah, it is.
Studios give whatever they want for whatever they want.
They don't seem to really care how much they spend on a movie.
Not nowadays.
And their return. So.
I literally just saw today that Mission Impossible 8 wait, what are we on? 8, right?
Yes.
Is like about to be one of the most expensive movies ever made. Mind you, the last movie was supposed to be one of the expensive most movies most expensive movies ever made.
And alien movies require budget.
Alien
movies require budget.
We picking and choosing on budget.
Practical effects and visual effects that they do use.
Right.
They require budget.
Listen.
So
it's not my money.
And they there's not a single
not my money.
Resurrection actually looks great. So
is Resurrection the one with
Resurrection was the weird campy one with Ron Perlman.
Oh.
And Winona Ryder.
Yes, it is.
But it looks
weird.
Practical effects look great. There's not a single alien film that looks bad.
No.
Not one.
I mean, you have to put on like that time's lens to understand the effects. But yeah. I agree.
And even Romulus did a good job at emulating an old looking alien movie.
It did because it
requires money.
And that one actually didn't cost that much, but it's Ridley Scott. He gonna say $500,000, please.
It take a lot of money to 3D print all that. So
right. And you need to pay your actors. Exactly. So there you go.
Yeah. Next Scoop of Crunch, Game of Thrones movies in the works of WB. So I guess we're just doing video game movies now and series movies.
This was the movie I was referring to when I said so. Now we doing it like because
this reminds
Jack
me of
Ryan is literally a series now.
Who's that Joss Whedon movie? You remember that Firefly show?
Yes.
Okay, so Firefly was a Joss Whedon series, like Buffy.
Oh, right.
And they came out with a movie called Serenity, which is supposed to be like the series finale of the movie.
I got you.
But that was the thing that they used to do in the early 2000s, which is like wrap up series with the movie.
You're right.
So now we're going back to that.
They did used to do that.
Yeah.
No. Because am I going to have to watch all of the game, like just like the Jack Ryan show, am I going to have to watch all of Game of Thrones to watch this movie?
It's better. Okay, so
I'm assuming it's going to be set in like a different time period.
The only way this is going to garner a mass amount of interest is if it's just like dragon fights. Back to back. No. Because I think what House of Dragon has taught Game of Thrones, ratings wise, is that the people really show up for the dragon. The dragon episodes.
I almost wanted to tune in because somebody showed like a clip of somebody dying on the dragon, and so I was like, "Well, this look cool. It's all dragony." And then I was like, "Nope, there's always this other stuff in this show I don't like." So
there's the other stuff that you don't like, but also the dragon stuff is few and far between.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Oh.
And that's most people's complaints about Game of Thrones. But
is there enough interest to make a movie? Is my question. You know what?
I don't know.
The House of Dragon show did seem to trend every week. So, sure. I guess. But people can do...
series trending every week is different than people going out to see a movie.
I was just about to say, leaving your house is a different type of activity than watching it at home.
Because who you going to cast? You have to cast... You have to cast film actors.
Yes. Because I'm assuming we're not carrying nobody over from this series because it's going to be set.
Nobody's going to go see them.
Okay.
So...
Ain't Matt Smith in there? Don't people like Matt Smith?
Matt Smith was also in Morbius.
Oh, yeah.
So he didn't bring in tickets for that either. So.
Well, I need to see it. Well, you know
Great actor, though. But people don't go see TV screen actors in films. They don't.
Yeah. And I already know this movie is going to be similar to the show, which got stuff I don't like in it. So I'm probably going.
I don't know. I think in a world where they're trying to bring Lord of the Rings back and they're doing Dune.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones just pales in comparison as far as the fantastical elements of that. So
True.
People, if you remove Gandalf from Lord of the Rings and all the fantastical creatures, it's Game of Thrones.
Okay.
See how boring that looks when you imagine that.
Well, ain't that why they add like all the other stuff I don't like?
Yeah, they don't have. They have like the frost
treachery and whatnot.
They have like the
frost giants.
No, not the frost giants.
They look like frost giants.
They're not giant.
Oh, really?
No, they're human size. They're just dead people.
I always
they're
thought
zombies.
They were big people.
No, I think they shoot them from the chin down.
Ew.
From the chin up. But
I could have sworn them people was huge this whole time. No. I was like, how does this work in this show?
They have the Night King.
He's not a big guy though.
No, he's a regular sized person.
That is hilarious.
It's like 5'11".
I always thought that man was a giant. Sorry.
But they have the Night King, but they ain't got no Sauron. So I don't know how they're going to compete in the movie space. They don't have a Gandalf. You
know what's going to be next? A Rings of Power movie.
They had Melisandre, and she could barely light fire when they needed her to.
This is turned series into a movie. I don't know if this the way to go, y'all. Yeah. I don't know if this the way to go, but we'll see.
Next scoop of crunch: 3 live-action Lego movies are in the works of Universal. Sure, live-action Lego movies do really good.
Wait, so live-action like What are we talking about when we say live action?
So
are we saying like human people?
The last
CGI Lego toys.
So like the last Lego movie was it's kind of live action. Like the first Lego movie had Will Ferrell and his son in it.
Oh, okay.
And it was based about. I mean, the movie, the whole Lego sequences of the movie was the boys' toy set.
Okay.
Or I think it was Will Ferrell's
were
toy
the
set.
toys animated like Sonic?
It was like Toy Story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
But
I
you
was
had
trying
to
get my
suspend your disbelief that their world was in this bedroom.
Okay.
So
okay, my
so
mind.
the whole world that they're experiencing in the Lego world is really a toy set in somebody's room.
Okay, I was struggling. Like I don't know Okay, that could work. Why? I don't know why we need 3 of them, but sure.
But I guess this live action means they're just going to include more humans in the Lego movies.
Maybe, or maybe it's gonna be like you just described, where the humans are just like a side element of, and they don't.
Yeah, it was kind of like Free Guy.
Okay,
the humans were like a very minimal side element to the rest of the Lego movie.
Okay, yeah. That could work. I was thinking if it was gonna be like a Sonic situation where like the Legos are CGI'd and then the humans are humans.
It's kind of the same thing.
Or if it was gonna be like Toy Story or Lion King or something.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing except for the human sequences in Lego movie were separate
from the toys.
They would take you out of the Lego world. Right. They never had them moving around together, interacting with each other. So maybe they're gonna do that.
Well, I mean, we got 3.
I don't know.
Or maybe we're getting 3 different versions.
Or that, yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Sure.
The Lego movies do really good. I don't think Pharrell's movie is doing really good, but I mean, it's a biopic.
Yeah, I would set that. I would set that apart.
But people consider Lego Batman to be the best Batman movie
I've
ever
heard.
made. So
maybe I need to add that to my list because I have not seen it.
I've only seen parts of it. It is fun. It's a fun movie. Legos are fun. Everybody
I will
loves
say
Legos.
the Lego games look very fun to play because you'd be like busting people up and then they bust down the Legos.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's kind of cute.
And Legos own licenses to everything, so. Lego Jurassic Park is fun.
Did you see?
I own Lego Jurassic Park.
Did you see how the new X Mansion Lego set came out officially?
Yes,
It's
I
like
did.
$349.
Mm-hmm.
It looked good though.
With the separatable sections of the X Mansion.
I don't
have any more place to put
I
shelves.
Ain't got a single place, but if Target put it on sale, maybe.
So I have more shelf than wall.
Right.
So.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So the directors of these Lego movies are going to be Jake Kasdan, who did Red One. So high expectations. Patty Jenkins, who did Wonder Woman. Okay, better. We're getting better.
Women.
And Joe Cornish, who did Attack the Block. It's getting a sequel, so better. At least we know one of these people will be coming back.
Okay.
So they're all tied to these 3 Lego projects. There's no official plot details or titles that have been announced whatsoever, so we don't know what these movies are going to be about. Very interesting. I wonder what'll come out first. This Patty Jenkins Lego movie or her Rogue Squadron movie?
That's not coming out. You know it. You being funny. You know that movie ain't coming out.
She said it's still coming out.
Okay. And so is Taika Waititi's Star Wars movie.
He said it's still coming out.
Mm-hmm. Right after name some other director who's tied
right after Ray's movie.
Who just lost his director. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars is in great shape.
Word. Well, we got Mando. We got Mando and Grogu. That's probably going to set
another TV series turned to a movie.
Oh, my God. You are correct. I forgot all about that.
We're back. It's the early 2000s all over again.
Oh, my God.
Lillian was correct. Time is just a circle.
It is not linear, y'all. It is not linear. You're right. Okay. Well, I'm curious if the first one going to come out that determines if the other 2 are going to come out. They might be like, oh, this is canceled. It's over. Hopefully Patty gets to do hers first.
That is the last scoop of Crunch. That is the end of our movie news, Bunch Crunch, and Trailer Park Visit this week. We are going to take a short break and get into our series review of the week, which is Agatha All Along.
Dun, 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 dun. Is it Agatha All Along? This week, we watched Agatha All Along, which is a Disney Plus series, which was released on September 18th, and it ran through October 30th, just in time for spooky season. It was created by Jack Schaefer, and if that name sounds familiar, it should, because she was also the creator behind WandaVision.
Yes.
So she knows what she's doing. I mean, basically, if you've seen WandaVision, you probably can guess what Agatha All Along was. So, cast and characters for Agatha All Along. Katherine Hahn is Agatha. They brought her back, in case you were wondering.
Yeah.
She plays Agatha Harkness. Joe Locke plays Teen. We have Deborah Jo Rupp, who plays Sharon Davis / Mrs. Hart. We have Aubrey Plaza, who plays Rio. Shashir Zamata plays Jennifer Kale, also known as Jen on the show. Ali Arn, is that how you say her last name? Okay, plays Alice Wu. And then Patti LuPone plays Lydia Calderu. I believe I said her last name right.
Yes.
And we got some other casts that show up that we can talk about, but that is our coven of Here Witches for this show. It was 9 episodes. We got the first 2 episodes together. Yeah. Then they did all the other ones, and then we got the last 2 episodes put together. And now that the show is out, it makes sense. Because I feel like if they would have split the last 2 and made us wait a week for that last one, people probably would have been rioting in the streets.
Yeah.
Definitely. So now the show is out. You can do a binge watch and watch them all together.
Absolutely.
Budget of the show was for the meal, which Marvel said was one of their least expensive shows, which is interesting, seeing as if you compare to, like I say, Secret Invasion, which cost like $200 million and was not that good. So
yeah, I mean this whole show was shot on a set.
Practical
set. Very clear. Yeah.
Practical set. It looked good that they did it practical, so we didn't have like a lot of CGI monsters. We didn't have to do what are the shapeshifters called in Marvel? The green dudes.
Scrolls.
Boom. We didn't have no scrolls. We didn't have no scrolls and CGI in this.
Shapeshifters in Marvel. My God.
Listen, my brain was just not. I try to put Secret Invasion out of my mind a little bit. So yes, we didn't have any scrolls to animate, and people, I think the cast and the crew and everybody behind the scenes got real creative with this $40 million. So that was good. Box office didn't go to the theaters, so nope. NA. Cinema score NA, but Rotten Tomato score for the critics was 83 and for the audience was 82.
Yes, very
close. And you know what? It doesn't seem like any review bombing impacted any of the ratings. So
no, I don't know if they review bombed on IMDb, but people stopped reporting IMDb numbers for stuff because they don't have it under control over there.
No, everything is like a 2 or a 2.5 on
Nothing
IMDb.
Successful on IMDb.
Listen, every movie sucks if you look on IMDb. So do you want to go over the plot?
Sure. So the plot of the show is Agatha has been busted out of her Wanda hex.
Yeah, Wanda spell.
Her own personal Wanda spell that Wanda left her in Westview. Yeah. And she is powerless.
You ain't got nothing.
She is being hunted.
But a house.
She is being hunted by by the Salem Seven, which is a mysterious coven of witches who are related to her backstory. So she must assemble a coven. And including one teen boy, travel the Witch's Road so that they can all attain their powers. Because the legend of the Witch's Road is that if you travel the road and you complete the trials, at the end you get what you've been searching for.
Right. You get a little gift box. It's all nicely wrapped.
Yes.
Sure. So before we continue, are we going to do non-spoiler and then spoil, or are we just spoiling straight from the top?
You can do non-spoiler thoughts.
Okay.
Sure.
I structured my notes to be non-spoiler. So let's go over hopefully, I'll catch myself. Let's go over our non-spoiler thoughts. You want to go first?
Sure, you go first.
I like the fact that the show, so if you've seen WandaVision, Agatha All Along gives us that very much like week to week, mysterious, what's going to happen next. You chomping at the bit to get to the next episode. I really, really like that. So it was a very good continuation from where we left off in WandaVision. Yeah. I enjoyed all the characters. Casting was good. Is always when you get good casting, it's very hard to imagine other people playing a role. Katherine Hahn was always good, but Joe Locke was very good as team. Everybody was good as the characters in which they played. So all the casting was good. Cast chemistry was good. You could tell, you would think that they were previously on a show together, the way that they kind of interacted with each other. And then I don't think this is a spoiler, but almost each episode is a different trial that they have to do on the road. I like that layout of how it kind of kept it fresh. We wasn't just like stuck in the same, like, I don't know. WandaVision, that's interesting. WandaVision, every episode was a different TV show. Yeah. So they
it's got that Jack Schaefer stamp on
it. I like you, Jack. That was a good idea. So I like the pacing of the show. Even though one episode was like 22 minutes, what it felt like, didn't appreciate that. But I did like the pacing of the show otherwise. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I really like the show. Like you said, I like the cast. I thought the cast had great chemistry. Katherine Hahn, a great lead.
Yeah, listen, if you ain't seen Parks and Rec, she's not in the whole series of Parks and Rec, but when the seasons that she is in, perfection.
She plays, Ant-Man, I can't think of his name, Paul Rudd's campaign manager in Parks and Rec. So good. But Katherine Hahn's a great lead in it. She's more of the same Agatha that we got from WandaVision, but we just get to see some added layers to her because we spend more time with the character.
You're true. And we get backstory and learn about her backstory.
Even though it's been a gap between WandaVision and this, it doesn't feel like the character has changed. Sometimes it's hard for the character to feel the same after it's been a time jump.
Right.
I liked all the additions, the new characters. A lot of them exist in the comics anyway. They just took them and, they're all extremely minor characters in the comics.
I heard that Jennifer Kale is the most major character
out of them.
Outside of Agatha.
Yes.
Well, yes. I almost spoiled it. It's hard. Go ahead.
Yeah. So outside of Agatha, Jen would be like the most major character.
Okay. And she is
but she's still minor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But she has like some team memberships every now and then, like
Midnight Suns.
But she's mostly just like a solo character.
Okay.
She does her own thing.
Interesting.
But so I like the cast. I liked all the additions. I did like some of the changes that they made to comic lore.
Interesting.
The main one I did not like that change, but I did like some of the changes they made to comic lore.
I'm curious
like
what those were.
Changes that they made to like the characters.
Okay.
Like Jen, for example. Jen in the comics is more just like a she's not even like a witch really in the comics. She's more just like another sorcerer, like another Doctor Strange. There are so many sorcerers in the comics, but in this they make her kind of more like an herbalist.
Yeah, she's a midwife.
So they give her more than just
midwife. Is it midwife?
Yeah, they give her more than just like wavy finger magic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agree.
I thought the costuming was really well.
Oh yes, everybody's fits, especially Agatha's fits, perfection.
Costuming was really really good. It changed every trial.
It did.
In addition to the costuming, the set design was extremely well as well.
Listen, Comic-Con about to go off on Agatha.
Yeah.
I'm about to be one of them. I'm about to pick something from this show.
I can see this being like group outfits.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, for like Comic-Con or Halloween or just like anything.
I think the only reason why maybe not so much at Halloween, because the show came out like right at Halloween. People need time for stuff like that. But yeah, group outfits for sure. I
like the different renditions of the Ballad of the Witches Road.
Very fun.
And like how they incorporated that, how it clearly changed over time.
It did.
Because it's like it was a ballad that all witches have known for like forever. So,
but there's like a rock version,
a regular version, a folksy version, a rock version.
Yeah. The rock version kind of hit though. Just let me.
So yeah, those are all my non-spoiler thoughts.
I'll add I liked a lot of the callbacks and Easter eggs were fun.
Yeah.
These shows like WandaVision, there's so many Easter eggs. You got to watch like a New Rockstars breakdown to get them all. But once you see them, it makes the show more enjoyable, I think.
I'll also add that it's extremely well written. I may not have liked all of the writing choices, and that's just specifically towards the end.
Yeah, we agree.
I think that the way it was executed was exceptional.
Agree. I can respect something when, even if I don't agree, I'm like, you know what? It's still pretty darn good how you did it.
Not everything in this show. I mean, this show does do some time stuff because it's witchcraft and it's magic. So it does some extra dimensional stuff, some time stuff. So the show is not everything in the show that you watch is happening linearly. I'll say that. And
it's also Marvel, so they'll never do no straight timeline.
Right. And it takes a good ability to write and direct to be able to pull that off, to do a reveal towards the end or halfway through a series that what you may have watched previously may not have happened in linear order.
Right. And you got to stitch it. You have to stitch it all together after you film.
Yeah.
So the editing team behind this, and Jack Schaefer, sure, directing them as they're editing.
And you have to drop clues. And the clues have to make sense. You can't just drop an Easter egg here just for the sake of having an Easter egg, because somebody's going to analyze that and wonder why that was there.
Especially with this fandom.
Yes.
Okay, we look at every stamp, everything. Like the wind blow to the left in this shot and to the right in this shot. What that mean?
So that takes good writing craftsmanship. So I will praise that. That is a good
The writing, directing was very good. Like you said, even though there's some decisions I was like, yeah, it was there's so much good that even something like that I can be like, I accept it. Yeah. It's fine.
The show does feel like it fits in the Marvel universe with the rest of the series. It feels identical to WandaVision as far as tone.
Yes.
As far as cast, as far as dialogue, and as far as the amount of action. So it's definitely going to be one of those shows where the action is going to be saved towards the end, just like the finale of WandaVision.
Right.
This is mostly just about characters.
Which is
still good. They do a really good job with the characters.
Yeah, because one good thing with TV shows is that you get to spread all this out. We wouldn't have been able to get this character development and arcs and reveals in a movie. Like we would have been there for 4 hours to try to get the same depth of that in a movie for a TV show. Yeah. So that was good. What else was I gonna say? I do like that there were some things that they could have done that they did not do. I don't want to spoil it, but they showed some restraint because they really could have took it there with this fandom, and they were like, nah, we're not gonna take it there. So yeah. And this is not a spoiler. There's no after credit scene.
Yes, there's no after credit scene.
I actually appreciated that. People were pissed, but I appreciated this.
I think the way the finale, I think what the finale sets up.
Yeah.
It kind of lets you know where it's going.
Right.
We don't have to see anything.
Right. Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
I've read a couple of interviews that Jack Schaefer has done since the show has ended, which was literally 2 days ago. Mm-hmm. And she explained that Marvel told her to not do an after, like she had ideas and they told her no. And one of the things she said though was that it would have been fun to do because you can write something and not have to like execute it later. So it's kind of like I can write whatever I want. Somebody else gonna have to play this out. And I think Marvel might have been, boom. Marvel would have been like, we don't know if we're gonna do that. Let's not promise something people might not get.
And I don't think she's officially tied to anything. So
and she might not have been the person to take it forward. So I'm glad they didn't. We got enough hanging loose fruits that's rotten that we need to go eat for Marvel.
So those are all of my non-spoiler thoughts. Do you have any more?
I think everything else I got is spoilery.
Okay, so we are going to jump into the spoiler section in 3, 2, 1.
All right.
We are going to talk about the characters.
Do you want to do top to bottom?
Sure.
So first off, we have Kathryn Hahn.
Yes.
Agatha Harkness. Loved her. There was nothing I didn't like about her.
Yeah.
She plays the character perfectly. If you've seen Parks and Rec, there are tidbits of her Parks and Rec character in Agatha.
Yeah. She kind of has that Aubrey Plaza kind of tone where Aubrey carries a piece of herself everywhere.
Right.
We think it might just be her.
I think Kathryn Hahn is partially like this. Yes. But it's still good, though. It doesn't get cliche. It doesn't get tiring. They do enough of the show where we spend time with other characters and backstory that kind of breaks it up anyway. Mm-hmm. But what I like the most about Agatha and how they treated her is that they kept her bad.
Yeah.
They like she don't turn to no hero.
Yeah.
At the end of the show, and we keep peeling back the layers of why she's still bad in each episode.
Yeah, and that's been a main complaint with people in the MCU is that MCU doesn't commit to villains.
We committed to her.
They did.
She's a mass murderer.
And I was against the choice originally in WandaVision because Agatha Harkness is not a villain in the comics.
She's not, which is very interesting.
But when they changed her to a villain in WandaVision, it's like, okay, well, let's see how this goes. And Kathryn Hahn's portrayal of it was really, really good. Yeah. So I feel like they kind of turned Agatha Harkness into like this Cruella de Vil-esque character.
Is this probably the most flipped character in like the MCU from like comic page to adaptation?
No, because
really?
Adam Warlock wasn't an idiot or a newborn, so he was like a super cosmic entity who was like hyper intelligent.
Never mind.
And Venom wasn't an idiot, so.
We don't count.
This is just a good example of them changing something from the source material and benefit.
Changing it a lot. You're right.
Kathryn Hahn, she did a really good job in this. I will say, the only thing that disappointed me was I feel like we didn't get enough witchy Kathryn Hahn, which I really enjoyed. I like a high-powered Agatha Harkness.
You're right. Not to the end.
And it was only for like 17 seconds.
Right, because on the road, like all of the witches have lost their power in this show, the whole coven, besides Teen, I guess. And we can talk about Teen when we get to Teen. So they can't do anything on the road that's like witchy, or not witchy, but like they can't use their powers to do whatever that they typically do.
And they don't have any. So.
And they don't have it. Agatha ain't got jack.
She ain't got nothing.
She ain't got
no purple.
Diddly squat. Okay. Yeah. So you're right. We don't get her witch powers until the end. I will say that the very first episode when we saw how she was living under Wanda's spell.
Yes.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
I just like, y'all wrote this to perfection, because Homegirl was living a double life and didn't even know it.
Yeah.
So that was good. And Katherine Hahn played it perfectly. Like she was able to play a person that's obviously stuck under a spell and don't know it, and then flip it to be like this conniving witch. Yeah. So that was really good.
She had great one-liners. Mm-hmm. She has great comedic timing.
Yes.
And I loved how it's her chemistry with Teen in the show was really good.
Oh yeah.
She was always like somebody that you can't trust, but you don't want to be on the road with anybody else but her.
Yeah, because like she's a good
because you don't trust her, but she also seems to be the most experienced witch out of all of them.
Yeah, I was gonna say she is, because she's done so much
and she's been around the longest, I guess.
Right.
So.
Over all these people, like, so she knows stuff, but then it's also kind of like, can you not kill me while I'm sleeping?
Yeah.
So that's basically what it feels like.
A good charismatic villain like a Loki.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They did a really good job with her.
I agree. Next, we want to go to Joe Locke.
Sure.
As Teen, a.k.a. Willem Kaplan, a.k.a. Wiccan, a.k.a. Billy Maximoff.
Yes.
So I think we all knew this, though.
Yes.
Like, it's funny because people were like, no, it's Agatha's son. It's Nicholas Scratch. And I'm like, come on, y'all.
Marvel doesn't have that many male witches.
Come on. Well, that for one. For two, I mean, the Easter eggs was already kind of set up there. And then he wasn't able to say it, but when he said things like, if you look at the clothes and his outfits, you'll see certain things. It's like, dude, they ain't doing this for no random person.
The same thing happened with Agatha Harkness in WandaVision when they named her Agnes, and everybody was like, one, there's not that many witches in Marvel. Okay. Two, there's not that many witches that Wanda knows in Marvel.
Okay.
And there ain't no Agnes, but there is an Agatha.
Right.
So, yeah.
So people were in the beginning, and people were thinking that this was Agatha's son, because Agatha through the show seems like she cares for Teen. Mm-hmm. And there's this whole lore in the show of Agatha gave her son up for the Darkhold. So people were kind of like, oh, this is her son reincarnated. And I was like, I'm not sure how that even happens.
Right.
But it's Teen. I mean, it's not Teen. It's Wiccan. Yeah. He ends up being Wiccan by the end of the show. Yeah. Which means Wanda better not be too far off. I'm just saying.
So they end up doing the same thing in the show that they did in the comics, minus the Mephisto element, which is that after Wanda's spell collapsed,
Hex,
the souls of her twins floated off and inhabited the bodies of two other individuals.
Yes.
Now, they weren't dead in the comics. They were very alive in the comics. But,
what you mean they weren't dead?
So they didn't inhabit it. In the comics, he didn't take over Will Kaplan's dead body.
Gotcha.
He just took over his body. And
right. Because
he was just kind of stopped existing.
Were they like babies and they were just born into babies?
No. They were born into teenagers, just like now. That's how they aged up so fast.
Okay.
Yeah, in the comics. So, yeah. Okay. It's a little different. Okay. I mean, I guess this is the better choice. He took the body of a child who already had died versus taking the body of a child who was living it and then just kicking him out.
Okay. Okay. You're right.
Yeah.
People had a problem with that. It was like, oh, we feel so bad for William. It was kind of like, I don't know.
I mean, at least they
gone.
killed him first in this show.
Sure.
And this, he kind of just like, got evicted.
Yeah.
So
like you said earlier, so Teen, aka Billy, aka Wiccan's chemistry with Agatha in this is very good. He first portrays like this unknowing teen who doesn't know what he's talking about, and he's he's a new witch. Mm-hmm. Come to find out, he was playing her, and he actually knew he was Wanda's son, essentially, from the get-go.
For at least 2 years.
Right. And he was trying to use Agatha to get to the witch's road, because what he wanted to find at the end of the road was Tommy. He wasn't looking for his power.
Yes.
He wasn't looking for power. He already had power, which we see on the road. Mm-hmm. But he was actually looking for Tommy. So Joe Locke did a very good job of switching it. like
Yes.
playing the unassuming teenager who like doesn't know magic and he's just here to learn. Psych. He was fooling everybody, and he was basically using Agatha, which was a nice little flip. Yeah, I like that.
And I like the little addition they did to Tommy. Where in the comics, like they both floated off and just inhabited other bodies and different families and found each other. In this show, it seems like Wiccan had to. Tommy never found another body.
He was holding on.
He
to
was just
Tommy
floating out into the ether.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know if Tommy's been floating or like Tommy was sitting inside of
floating out into the ether, and Agatha helped him find him and then put him into a body.
Okay. That scene was really good in the episode 8. That was episode 8. But I was a little confused. So it's like, so has Tommy been chilling inside of Billy? But that sounds better what you said.
No, according to Rio, his spirit's just been floating around.
Okay. I like that idea better.
And her spirit, his spirit has been floating around, and Rio has not been able to find it. That's why she needed Billy alive first.
Right. Okay.
Because if she put him in a body, she'd lose him.
You're right. She did say that. And the reason why she wanted, and the reason why the reason why Billy kind of needed to self-sacrifice himself is because if anybody killed Tommy, Billy, I guess both of them, they just jumped to another body. Yeah. Which was kind of crazy.
And I guess Billy has the ability to control doing that, I guess.
That's a nice little addition.
Yeah.
Like, go ahead, shoot me. I'm just going to go over there.
And it seems like if whoever Tommy may be will probably be younger, which is a difference too. They're the same age in the comics, but it looks like the boy that was being drowned was much younger than teen.
Yeah, so at the end of the show, Billy does end up quote unquote finding Tommy, but not in his flesh form. Yeah. Because his soul's been floating. He ends up finding Tommy a body, but we don't get to see this full body. It just looks like a kid that's drowning underwater. So we don't know. They ain't got the casting right yet, so they was like, we gotta hold off on this. Essentially.
Deborah Jo Rupp returns as Sharon Davis, aka Mrs. Hart from WandaVision. She has been freed from Wanda's spell, and she's returned to her regular life.
Gardening.
I did not realize that Wanda killed her husband.
Yeah, I actually had to go back.
I thought they left the house and they were fine.
He ended up choking at dinner.
Yeah, but I thought she stopped him.
I
she was like, stop it, and then Wanda stopped.
Yeah, it was fuzzy. I almost went back and watched that whole episode again, but I think he died in WandaVision.
Oh, maybe I missed the scene where he like choked out and they showed his body.
Unless he died off screen or something. I'm not sure.
Maybe they mentioned he died off screen, but apparently he's dead. So Mrs. Hart is a widow.
Yeah.
And she's just been living in Westview. I liked her. She basically is mostly just a cameo character who shows up for just the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, she don't make it out the show, y'all.
She doesn't make it past the first trial.
And
so
everybody thought she was going to come back.
Agatha needed a green witch to complete the coven. And because she did not have one, she just grabbed Mrs. Hart because she was gardening out front. So.
And that she tricked she tricked everybody to thinking she was a witch. Yeah. And they were like, who was this?
She could have been a witch if she had survived. Apparently they said everybody's a witch. It's about unlocking the power that's inside of you. So.
I thought that they were going to discover at the end of the road that she did have witch powers.
Yeah, that would have been fun.
And then when they offed her, I was like, oh, she's going to come back as a ghost. Yeah. Neither one of those happened. No. Mrs. Hart is rest in peace.
Mrs. Hart and her husband were just victims of witches.
Gone. And we don't even know.
Minding their business, living in their town.
We don't know if Miss Hart was ready to go. Like, people was like, oh, now she's with her husband. Well, she was like, I'm not. Yeah, I'll see him when I get there.
She seemed to enjoy gardening.
Yeah, so R.I.P. to Mrs. Hart.
Aubrey Plaza is joining this cast as Rio Vidal, a.k.a. Death, the original Green Witch. And I thought that was an interesting change to the lore of Death in the comics.
I enjoyed her as Rio/Death. Yeah. This ended up getting spoiled for some of us because Funko Popped leaked the toys early. Watch out, Funko Pop. Stop doing that. But I like the fact that Death wasn't the villain, which I thought is what they were going to do. And then I was like, but
Death
you can't
be a villain.
Exactly, because you can't kill Death. So I like the fact, and she wasn't just. She was mean with Agatha because her and Agatha had a whole backstory, relationship, history, all of that. But she wasn't necessarily, as we see her going through time, I guess, with the people who did die on the show, she's not like some horrible jerk. So I like that too.
She's Death. Her job is to reap the souls, but she didn't cause any of their deaths.
She's like David Jones.
She was kind of just like an innocent bystander who kind of just watched.
Yeah, it's a funny innocent bystander.
Yeah, she's funny.
Because once she showed up on the road, she was reading the paper, doing her nails, kicking back while they freaking out during the trials. Yeah. Because she's deaf, she like, I'm not dying. I'm hello.
This is a great role for Aubrey Plaza.
Yes.
To cast somebody to play Death, who's really great at like dry humor.
Yes.
And a wild card.
Being unintentionally funny?
Yes.
Yes.
And a wild card because she always carried that knife out and you didn't know what she was going to do. And she kept like jumping at people.
Right. She said she had like extra nipple and stuff. You're like, girl, what are you talking about?
She said that she felt like she was born to play this role.
She did very good in it.
She did very good
I'm trying to think, like I said earlier, once somebody's casting something and they do really good, you're like, well, who else could have done it?
Yeah.
No, and I think the dynamic between Katherine Hahn and Aubrey Plaza was so good because they obviously worked together.
Yeah.
On Parks and Rec. I think one of the reasons why Aubrey Plaza said she wanted to do this because she wanted to work with Katherine Hahn again. Mm-hmm. It worked perfectly.
Yeah.
And I guess one thing we didn't really call out is that Agatha and Rio were side pieces to each other.
They didn't seem like they were in like committed relationship.
Yeah, because I mean, like obviously Def is busy.
Lovers, I guess.
Yeah, they were in a romantic relationship at some point throughout all the centuries. Yes. And then it's toxic though.
Yeah, so Agatha would kill people for Death so that Death would have more people to read.
It's a toxic situation. And a lot of people, I guess at the end, a lot of people wanted more of their backstory versus what we got in episode 9, which I agree with. I would have liked to see like the first time they met, how they kind of cross paths over all the centuries would have been cool to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they did good as a ex couple who obviously still wanted to be with each other but couldn't because of circumstances.
I like how they added the lore that Death used to be a witch.
Okay.
And like the Green Witch is like the cycle of death, of life and decay, all happening at once, everlasting. I thought that was interesting. In the comics, Death is just kind of like so this is funny. So in Thor: Love and Thunder, there is a statue of Death in the hall where they're fighting Gore.
Yes. With the hood.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
It has all the statues of like all the Marvel divine beings because Death is like a Marvel divine being.
Yeah.
So I wonder if she'll come back because Death is an important character in the comics.
I hope she does.
She interacts with like a lot of different characters. Deadpool, for example, is
they're supposed to be like they were also in a relationship, right? Her and Deadpool.
Yes. Well, Death is obsessed with anybody who can evade death the longest.
That makes sense.
That's why she was obsessed with Agatha. Okay. And then once you die, she kind of just moves on to the next obsession.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Death is attracted to people who live long.
I can see Aubrey Plaza doing it.
And are hard to kill. Yeah.
Yeah. I hope she does. She did very good as Death. And obviously, I know it's a superhero show. You want everybody to die, but somebody got to get it. Mm-hmm. So I hope she shows back up.
Yeah. So Aubrey Plaza did a really great job. Let's talk about Jen, who's played by Shazir Zamata.
First, can I just say, the black woman made it, y'all.
She lived.
She's a final girl.
She lived. One of the only ones.
Listen, because so it feels like, other witches died during the road, and we'll get to that when we get to those characters. Mm-hmm. I didn't know Jen was going to make it.
Yeah, no, Jen could have died like the rest of them.
And what I like most about Jen, she was funny.
Yes, Jen was hilarious.
Jen was also our comedic relief. I also she did have a character arc in the show too, so she wasn't just there to be funny.
I liked all her looks.
All her looks were good.
Yeah.
Her character as a witch was a midwife and a root worker. And that's what she did throughout the centuries. But she was bound. So she couldn't do any powers because somebody, Agatha, which we find out, bound her.
Yes.
And so she was working as she was hawking candles and potions or lotions and stuff
beauty
like
products.
that. Beauty products that didn't do what they actually said. But she
had snake oil in them.
Basic. She was a snake oil salesman, but a very beautiful looking one at that. Her character was cool because even though she was a comedic relief, she still had a character arc. And by the end of the show, she gets her powers back in a very, very, very good scene. But I really like Jen's character. Acting was very good, and she was just another great addition to the cast.
Yeah, I like Jen's character. I like the addition, like I said, of making her like a potions witch and adding that little bit of lore to her.
Right.
But yeah, I would say Jen was my second favorite character of the series.
Yeah, she's pretty up there.
I like the writing around her character. I liked how they planted the Easter eggs that she wasn't really bound.
It did
when she
seem
couldn't
like
recall how the doctor particularly did it,
right?
Because they weren't magical people,
right.
When Patty LuPone's character Lilia has in episode 7 when she's doing the tarot card reading, and she says Jen is a high priestess, either unwilling or unable or unwilling to use her power.
And it just seemed like Jen, her character was just very defeated because she couldn't use her powers, and she just was like, I wasn't bound by like a witch. Like, what the heck is going on? And it'd been 100 years. So she had been living like that for 100 years. So you kind of feel for her because you're like, well, dang, like some people who's not even supposed to be able to do that did that, and you can't like undo it. She couldn't figure out how to undo it. So yeah, great character for sure.
All right, let's talk about Alice Wu Gulliver, played by Alian.
So Allie is a daughter of another famous witch who is not in the show, but she's talked about in the show.
Yes, Lorna Wu.
Lorna Wu, who is a rock star was a rock star. She's not alive at this point. And Allie or Alice has kind of been plagued of a curse, and everything she does just turns to poop. And you feel bad because at this point in the show, when we meet her, she's like a security guard of like a random store.
Because she just got fired.
She had just gotten fired, and her issue was that a curse was following her, and people thought that her mom actually died on the road.
Yes.
So, and her mom has this very popular song that is the Ballad of the Witch's Road is like one of the most popular songs, and one of the versions was by her mom. I really liked her. I don't like how her character got ended, unfortunately. She actually dies trying to help Agatha. Agatha kills her, and I'm glad we clarified that Agatha can stop herself from soaking up powers.
She chose to kill her.
She chose to kill Alice. Yes. And then at the very end, Rio come and be like, hey girl, you dead, you ready to go? And Alice was like, actually, no, I'm not ready to go. So poor I felt bad for Alice's character at the end of the show, which I didn't particularly like.
Really good scene, but it was very sad.
It was, but it was just like, because Alice actually, I don't know what episode, but Alice's trial, she actually breaks the curse. She lives, and we all like, whoo, she's alive. Somebody lived at the end of this. Yeah. And then in the very next episode, she
was happy. Her tone and her demeanor as a character changed
her
after
generational
her generational curse
had been lifted, and then she get axed, and I don't think we find out till like 2 episodes later what happens to her, her body. Yeah. Like we leave her body, and like 2 episodes later we find out what happened. So we all like, well, where the heck is Alice at? Yeah, so she ain't come back. And I guess one thing of the show was that the deaths were permanent. The deaths were permanent, and we all kind of thought that, oh, maybe they'll come back and get resurrected. Jack was like, no, they did. Yeah. So poor Alice. I liked her character, but R.I.P. to her as well.
All right, and last but not least, we have Patty LuPone playing Lilia Calderu.
She might have been one of my favorites.
Yeah, she's my favorite.
Yeah, she. I mean, we got Agatha. I feel like Agatha shouldn't be counted in the ranks of everybody else because that's her show. Sure. But yeah, Patty would probably be my favorite then.
Yeah, I like Patty. Yeah. So Patty played a 450-year-old Sicilian witch. I can't remember or not, but I think she popped up in Scarlet Witch's solo run in one of her issues.
Oh, interesting.
The Sicilian witch. But so Patty LuPone is a seer. She can see into the future. Your future or someone else's future. But her ability, so she had an experience where she experienced her life outside of time, and it kind of made her powers wonky. So she does not see time linearly anymore.
She don't even live linearly.
Yeah, she kind of just jumps randomly to her own body at different points of time, and she can't really control it.
It's crazy. That was the craziest part of.
And I'll say that's that goes in the book as one of my favorite depictions of time travel. I think they did an extremely good job at that because it played a factor in every episode.
Yeah, it did.
Up until episode 7, where she also died.
So they do little drop. She has like outbursts at random points and random episodes leading up to episode 7. And we all know like it's going to get pieced together at some point. Now, I think most of us thought that it was going to be at the final episode where all that comes out. It turns out it actually comes around back at her trial, and it's not exactly premonitions. They were more like warnings she was trying to get. It was just her being able to see stuff out of order.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just like, oh, at the end she's just gonna spurt this all out in one sentence.
Yeah.
Which actually wasn't what happened.
So she was part of an ancient coven of Sicilian witches, and Jay was her task to be a seer. And I guess her purpose was that she just could not see past a certain point. Right.
I feel like she couldn't see past. Well, she did. Her other big thing was that she knew how her coven was going to die and couldn't stop it.
Yes.
And she really struggled with that. And she eventually, throughout, at some point of her long life, decided she didn't want to do that no more.
Yeah, so more covens.
No more covens. And she was doing, she owned some like witchy shop.
And she tried to suppress her power.
Yeah, and she was just kind of chilling. She said she was a covenless witch and she didn't want nothing else to do with it. A woman who was forgotten is essentially. And she was getting on a road to basically, she didn't want power either. She just wanted to be remembered. Yeah. Which I'm pretty sure she got that.
Patti LuPone did a really good job.
Excellent.
I think episode 7 was one of the best episodes of the series. I'll get into that later because it goes into my likes and dislikes and favorites area.
Okay.
But she did a really good job. Excellent comedic timing.
Everybody was funny in this.
Acting legend. I was surprised that she joined this project.
I think she was the one everybody was like, oh, this gonna be good.
Yeah.
Like, this gonna be good. Yeah. And she was
a great character. And Ali Ann's trial episode when they had to do the Ballad of the Witch's Road
the rock
to
version.
break the curse, and Lilia's instruments kept changing every time the camera cut to her.
It was a great edit. It was perfect editing because they would split to somebody singing and cut to her, and she's just like with her maracas, and then they would cut to her or cut away from her, cut back, she got like a tambourine, and then cut away and cut back, she like got a mic. It was hilarious.
And I like the way that Lilia and Jen's friendship evolved.
Yes,
the series.
Because when they first meet, she says that what is Jen insults her in some particular way. It's kind of mean, but by the end they were like, they were like a true coven. She said
they were sisters in the craft.
There it is. That was a very sweet moment. I really like that.
Yeah. Okay, so those are all the characters. Let's dive into our likes and dislikes about the show.
All right. I do like that. So you called this and I really liked it. So we were talking and guessing what's going to happen in the final episode. And basically Rio, I don't know how Rio didn't know this before, but Rio finds out that Billy is actually Willem is actually Billy, and Billy possessed a body.
Yeah, she calls him an abomination.
She don't like that, but I like the fact that in the end, Rio was like, "I'm here for the boy. Like, either I'm here for the boy, or somebody gonna have to give me somebody else for the boy."
Right.
I really like that turn because she's death, right? Like she
doesn't like being cheated.
It's a Final Destination situation. Like, you're not supposed to cheat death, and that's exactly what the soul of Billy did. So I like that little turn because I didn't really see that to the end. So that was really good.
Yeah. Like I said, I like the cast, the costuming, and the trials. Really good writing. I did have a note originally that said I like the world building, but I had to put formerly next to that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there wasn't any world building because the world was kind of made up and now it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. So let's bounce. We can bounce back and forth between.
We'll bounce back to that. But I sub notes under good writing. Like I said, great comedy. I'm not a particular fan of the answers and the conclusion to the series, but I do think that they executed what they were trying to do very well as far as like sowing the seeds and planting the Easter eggs.
Very good.
And all that. The sowing the seeds that lead up to the finale. Yeah. I'll give them.
It was fun. It was fun to discover all the Easter eggs.
They get, 10s for technicality.
They do.
Technical writing. I think they did a really good job. Good. I just was not a fan of the garden that was planted from the sown seeds.
Exactly. The flower wasn't my favorite version. That's what I'm saying.
They did some gardening.
They did. Yeah. They had some, azaleas and dandelions. I was like, can we get some roses?
There were things to look at, flowers in attendance. Right. And I did enjoy the weekly discussions.
Oh, yeah.
That everybody had online between episodes. It reminded me of WandaVision and how we had no clue what that was about. And we had fun theorizing about that.
The Witch's Road was all the friends we made along the way, as they like to say. Because this show, I love shows that create a lot of good discussion and theories, as long as people keep it cool. Because some people get too serious. But it's fun to just theorize. And this show because the way the show is written, you're able to do that. And it's not, some people called it lazy writing because they didn't like the ending. I'm like, just because you don't like the ending doesn't mean the writing is lazy.
You can say the ending is bad because that's subjective. but
exactly. But it wasn't lazy.
like this took work. Like this it clearly took ability to
There's
be able to pull
literally
this off.
layers upon layers. Like it wasn't just laying Easter eggs. There's like characters that have like moments. There's characters who don't like each other, whose relationships like evolve over the time.
Yeah.
It's definitely not lazy. One thing I did like is that the witches got closer as they walked the road. Mm-hmm. So they don't know each other in the beginning. Everybody knows of Agatha.
Yes.
Or maybe it's
because she's notorious.
Right, but they don't know each other. But there's one scene, maybe early in one of the episodes, maybe like 3 or 4, where they're sitting around like on rocks and stuff. It's kind of like they slept for the night. They're about to sleep for the night.
Okay.
And they're all sharing stories about their background. So that was a really sweet moment. And they just get closer and closer together. And when somebody passes away or gets killed, they actually have a heartfelt moments after that. Like you can actually tell that they're sad about it. So I like that. I already said that I like that Agatha was not a hero and we didn't turn her into one.
No. And
I like that the deaths were permanent. We don't need to. I don't like playing around with, oh, they dead, but now they all alive. Although the way that the ending was, I was like, maybe they should have been alive, but that's okay.
I liked the fact initially going into it.
Before we knew.
Initially, I liked the fact that the road had stakes.
Yeah, you're right.
Because the road in the road, and this is just something from comics.
Yeah.
The road was and it didn't like it's, and the Witch's Road is a thing in the comics, and it's a really good thing that I enjoy, but it's not like the Infinity Gauntlet. It's not something that has been ingrained in comic lore forever that can't be altered. It's disappointing, but it's not like devastating.
Okay.
So the Witch's Road in the comics is a different plane. It's a different dimension.
Kind of like being outside of time or whatnot.
Yes.
Or ancestral plane.
Just like Doctor Strange has access to all those billions and billions and billions of different dimensions that he can just walk into whenever he wants to. Okay. The Witch's Road is like the one other one that witches have.
Okay.
And that's why it's kind of disappointing, because it's the one other place that witches have access to. Right. That's unique to them.
That could have been revisited or whatnot.
And in the comics, it only has like small appearances, but its major one was with Wanda walking the Witch's Road with Ghost Agatha. Because in the comics, Wanda lost her mind and accidentally killed Agatha.
Wanda lost her mind another time later too.
But I mean, that just happens when Wanda loses her mind. People die.
We love her though.
And she travels the road, and it doesn't really have trials, but it tests you. Okay. And it does have stakes, and you can die, and you can be on the road. It has no sense of time, so you can be on the road for thousands of years if you don't complete what you're looking for.
Okay. So take too long.
Just don't know. So,
okay. Yeah. And another part about things that like the writing, I like that they added the trials took some thought. Like they didn't just make it to where it was kind of like an escape room.
It was like escape rooms, yeah.
Multiple escape rooms that they added little, fun Easter eggs to, and each escape room related to one of the characters. I was like, I don't agree with the people that are saying like, oh, I didn't like the ending. It's lazy writing. Like, we're taking it too far.
Yeah, the trials were tense, even though they were fun.
You're right.
They did do well with tension.
Like, and when people started falling off, you was like, okay, is somebody actually not going to make it out of
because
this?
if people didn't die, there wouldn't be stakes in the trials.
You're right. You're right.
There would be no tension in the trials.
It would just be like, oh, it's cool. Everybody going to make it. So, yeah, you're right. So, let's get into, do you have any more likes?
Those are all my likes.
Let's get into our dislikes, and let's not be too mean about this. No, I'm just kidding.
So, I only have one dislike.
I have a dislike and some nitpicks.
Okay, so you go first.
So one nitpick was 30-minute episodes are insane. Like, that's ridiculous. There is something that you can add to 30 minutes to make it a fuller episode. Like, we could have got more backstory on somebody somewhere.
That's the MCU TV show formula.
No.
Episode 1. So it's funny because in hindsight, and this is part of the reason why I've never rewatched a MCU series. Okay. Like, I've never rewatched it, not once. Even though I enjoy all of them, most of them, not Secret Invasion, but I enjoy all of them. Yeah. But I only give them one watch because after completing them, each of them, in hindsight, you realize you could have gotten away with watching episode 1, 2, 4, 7, 8, because they all
The short episode was a good one, but it was like y'all could have like either
1 and 2 are the 2-part introduction. 4 is the game changer episode.
Yeah.
And 7, 8 is the conclusion.
I was so mad.
It's I expected the middle of the sandwich to be light.
No.
But to have 2 fat pieces of bread on the top and bottom.
Meat on these bones for this 30-minute episode. So that was one thing it's just sorry. I was just very annoyed by that. So that was one of my dislikes. That was my only nitpick. Okay. So let's get into the dislike we both have.
So my main dislike is the finale.
Finale is that the road was fake initially. So the ballot was made up by Agatha and her son Nicholas, and Nicholas was supposed to be stillborn, but death allowed Agatha to keep her son. So Rio allowed Agatha to keep her son until I'm not sure how old he was, 10 or so.
Young.
And he was a young tween. He was a young kid, not even a tween. And they had made this song together, which turns into the Ballad of the Witch's Road,
like folklore.
Exactly. And Agatha, after Nicholas dies, she continues to suck up witches, but she uses a song to lure witches to go on this road.
Right.
But there actually isn't a road.
Yeah.
She literally just uses a song to get people in a circle and then goes, oh, you guys are weak. You guys are whack. Like, you can't open a road. I need better witches. And they get mad at her, attack her, and she sucks up all their power.
Right.
So that is the background.
I like that montage. That was good.
I love the montage. I actually love the fact that she conned people using a song.
I like the fact that she made the ballad.
And the ballad actually turned into something because Lorna Wood made a version of it that ended up being a protection spell for Alice.
Yeah.
Like that part. What I don't like is the fact that Teen/Billy/Wiccan also believed that the song opened the road, and he was like, he goes to Agatha because he's like, hey, I need some help to open up this road, and she's like, sure, let's do it. But come to find out, the road didn't exist. Billy makes the road.
Yeah.
Like, the road does not exist until Billy conjures it up.
Yeah.
So the whole time we're just on a road that Billy just made yesterday. Yeah. And I was like,
And that's the disappointing thing for me. That's the disappointing thing for me. I thought it was gonna do. I thought the show was gonna do some world building, and it didn't.
No, there ain't no world because he seals it off. At the end
because he made it and then got rid of it. Yeah. And even if he does, and I've seen some people like, oh well, it can be real. He can just open it again, or any witch who can open. I'm like, well, no, it's something that he just made up out of scratch, and that makes it less special because
it's only for him.
Yeah, it's only for him.
The road was made
instead of this being some nice communal thing that is accessible to all witches and test all witches and belongs in the witch corner of the MCU. The witch corner of the MCU doesn't have anything. No, right. It just has a bunch of scattered witches across the world.
Right. Who know Agatha might come and take them, or something like that. But not only that they don't have anything, it's the fact that WandaVision was about a Maximoff who, out of her grief,
and the redo it all,
created a thing where she was bending people's reality. And now we have a show called Agatha, where Billy really was kind of all along in it too. Yeah, he doesn't know it, by the way. So he doesn't know that he made the road. What happened is the Salem 7 is chasing after Agatha. Yeah. Because they want to kill her. And he freaks out because he's upstairs while they're singing the ballad, because Agatha basically says the only reason why I brought all these people together, I brought covens together, was to suck their powers out. So she was intending to kill Alice, Jen, and Lilia. And Mrs. Hart, I guess, because she was down there too. And what happens is Billy freaks out, runs down the stairs, and the road door appears.
Yes, because just like Wanda, he has the ability to just inadvertently create realities out of nothing.
And created a whole road, y'all. So the road got trials, trees, grass, quicksand, a moon, a sky, brooms that can be made out of twigs. Yeah. And it's just kind of like, he did all of this? Sure.
Yeah, I just didn't like the reveal. Like that was it. Like the rest of the show was good. I didn't like the reveal was that he made the road, and the road didn't exist.
Yeah, and also that he seals it off. Yeah. Like in my opinion, there's no going back to it. And even if you could, I don't think
Who cares? I don't want to see it again.
I don't think we as an audience would ever see. When are we ever gonna see it?
It's just it's a teen child's playground. Like, so it's just not interesting at all.
Like you said, MCU don't have a bunch of witches, right? So
No.
what other witch would we even follow to go down there?
Well, I guess
Wanda don't need to.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Wanda only really has one storyline down there, and
Right.
We've
done it.
The road was a thing that existed.
She's already the Scarlet Witch. She don't need no road.
So she don't need to go down the road.
She don't need to take no road down. And I don't make no. So I don't think we'll ever get the road. Even if it was still there, I believe it's gone. I also think they could have changed the story a little bit, and it still would have worked to be a real road. Like the road could have existed, but Agatha could have had the song. Because she couldn't figure out how to get in it. And she just made up this song with her son and then used the song to lure witches to get to a road that she actually had no powers to get into. And the story could have been the same.
I think it shouldn't have been a hex. I think the issue for me is that a hex was involved. And we're back where we were with WandaVision. Right. It seems like, and I mean, Jack Schaefer is clearly a very good director, but we've only been able to see one trick from her. Well, it feels like the hex.
Yeah, and I feel like if you would have made the road real, you could have got rid of all of that. Like if the road existed and you just needed a super powerful witch to get in it, and Billy is his mama's child, so he was able to do it, that would have worked perfectly fine. And at the end, we could have sealed the road and it still could have been there. Yeah. But now it's gone because Billy was like, it's dangerous. I killed people on this. I got to close it up. And he's like, well, yeah.
And I get that they planted the seeds throughout the whole series from episode 1. Yeah. Second, at the minute and 30-second mark, they have been planting the seeds that Billy made the road. But
there are things on the road that show up that are in Billy's room. Mm-hmm. And I just thought, because Billy opened it, quote unquote, it's fashioning itself.
Or it personalizes them off of things that they know.
Yeah, that would have worked.
Because as viewers, the rooms are based off of things that we know. So it makes sense that they look like things that the characters are familiar with.
Certain things he wouldn't have known. Like, he wouldn't have known about Alice's curse or Jen being bound. So
I guess because they mentioned it while he was in the room.
And he instantly was like, boom. Yeah. Subconsciously, right? Because he doesn't know he's doing this. It was just not my favorite, but execution... Jack Schaefer said that she's a very big fan of The Usual Suspects. So if you've ever seen The Usual Suspects, the Kaiser Sose scene where he's describing it, and as the audience were figuring out and piecing it that he was the bad person the whole time, it plays out like that. So it plays out very well. But the whole time I was like, oh no. Yeah. Oh no.
That's my only dislike is the ending reveal.
That's it.
And I think the last episode is kind of the last episode kind of dips into ABC nighttime drama quality a little bit for me. But I won't knock that. It does feel like they kind of ran out of money a little bit towards the end of the show.
Yeah, so episode 8 is actually could have been like the ending of the show. So episode 8 ends where Billy basically has this look on his face of like, crap, I think I created the road. Mm-hmm. And then we cut to episode 9, which gives us Agatha's backstory of her with her son Nicholas, and how they created the ballot, how death came for him, how she ended up continued to like suck up witches' powers, and the montage of her going through like the different periods of time was very cool, by the way. And then we get back to Billy and Agatha, who is now a ghost. Right. So we get Ghost Agatha at the end of this. And Jack Schaefer said that they always knew that she was going to be a ghost at the end, which I think was pretty cool.
Yeah. So, like I said, I like the way that it was executed. I appreciated the way it was put together, but I just didn't like the reveal at the end. Yeah. It kind of reminded me of another Scream reference. Okay. This is another, once again, it's coming back up because it's a requel. it's a requel of WandaVision, Agatha feels. Because per the definition of a requel from Scream, story-wise, it's a new addition to an ongoing storyline with new main characters supported by and related to legacy characters. Okay. They even killed off their lead so that the franchise could survive beyond them, which was Wanda. So it's a requel.
So you're saying Agatha All Along is a requel? Yeah. A good requel.
Requel.
Excellent.
But Scream 5 had a better ending than Agatha All Along. To be Scream 2022.
Okay. Yeah. You're talking about the one with
the first Sam and Tara Scream. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. At least they did something different with their ending. This one kind of just felt like more of the same. And my last dislike is I think Agatha's ghost look is horrendous.
You were not alone. She looked too washed. This is gonna sound stupid, but she looked too washed out.
The outfit is terrible. I liked her gray robes that she wore in a regular costume. Yeah. with her brooch. I thought that was fine.
They should have had her. Yeah.
I don't know why she needed this MTV Video Music Awards outfit.
She looked like she a punk rock star.
It looks terrible.
The wig is wigging.
And because they made her old as a ghost, which I thought was an odd choice, she looks too old for her outfit. For her costume.
I actually think she looks too young for the long gray wig.
And they didn't do a very good job, I think, with the makeup.
They didn't age her up.
To age her very well.
No.
I think it would have been fine if, one, she didn't age as a ghost. She died young looking.
She literally died 2 minutes prior.
And it's not like her the way she looks now as a ghost is an accurate depiction of how old she would actually look.
Right, because she's like a witch.
Billion years old.
Right, at this point.
And I think it would have been better if she was solid. I don't think the ghost effect is... I think the ghost effect is a little cheap compared to all the other effects in the MCU.
She's too washed out.
She should have just been solid. I would have been fine with her being like Patrick Swayze, solid, and he just walks through stuff.
Or like the ghost in not Ghostbuster. No, definitely not Ghostbusters. What's the Beetlejuice? Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're just non-corporeal, but you can't see through them.
She was a little too see-through. I'm like, girl, you're moving, but I still can't quite see you.
That was supposed to be her third act super suit reveal, and it was bad.
Yeah.
They should have just kept
her.
I
will say I like the scene where she's a ghost, and so she's still trying to figure out how to be a ghost. So she tries to slap Billy, and her hand keeps going through his body because she's a ghost and she can't figure it out. You know, ghosts always have trouble touching things. She has the same issue.
It's like Patrick Swayze. Eventually, she got it.
Yeah, it was quite funny. But you were not the only person who didn't like the ghost Agatha look.
I did not like that look.
They're gonna change it when we see her again. You already know.
They should just revert it. I mean, just make her look like regular Katherine Hahn.
Like they should make Agatha look like Agatha looked in the beginning.
Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't do that. That was a great
look. Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird.
Give her blazer back.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Her long coat. I like that.
She definitely looked like she was going to the MTV Awards.
All right. Did you have any other likes or dislikes you want to discuss?
Nah, I think I got them all.
Okay, so we can talk about the ending, which we kind of already did. Where it turns out the whole thing was a hex. Yep. So my specific issues with the ending.
Yeah.
Since we're in the ending section, is that I feel like the reveal at the end that Billy was the one who made the hex.
Yeah.
Was supposed to be, it felt like it was supposed to be this, he is Wanda's son moment because he is Wanda's son because he did the exact same thing. He made a hex just like Wanda did. He's absolutely Wiccan now because we showed that he made the hex and he also got in his Wiccan outfit. But I feel like the reveal that he was Wiccan was beaten with us over the head,
right?
When he threw Agatha and the rest of the witches in the mud, and his crown appeared.
When we first get the fact that Teen is Wiccan, like we already know.
So I get that they planted the Easter eggs, and they sowed the seeds throughout the whole series.
Right.
That Wiccan was the one who made the road. But I feel like if that was the case. The end could have been a different reveal. You could have used the end to reveal something else, something that would have been, I don't know, more impactful or would have affected the MCU going forward. Because we already knew we were getting Wiccan once he threw Agatha in the mud.
Some people
that was the he is Wiccan reveal.
Yeah, some people didn't feel satisfied by the last two episodes because they felt like it didn't really connect. They didn't really move us too far forward because, like you said, we knew Wiccan was Wiccan by the middle of the series.
Yeah.
And the only additional thing we get is the fact that he gets his suit reveal, which was great.
Right.
Love that scene. And we already know that Tommy has found a body because we got to see that.
Yeah.
So the fact that at the end where they go, let's go find Tommy, like, well, of course, because what else y'all about to do? Yeah. What else y'all about to do? Have tea? She's a ghost. She can't drink.
Yeah, it kind of just, the ending reveal just kind of felt like the whole point of the show was to illustrate that Billy is just as powerful, if not more powerful than Wanda.
But
and I feel like they could have illustrated that differently and made the ending about something better than he just did the exact same thing that Wanda did in WandaVision. It kind of felt like, and I see why people say that's lazy writing because it's a redo. I don't think that's just because she redid the same ending at this that she did in the last one. I mean,
make it lazy, we took a different path to get there, I guess.
Yeah,
so
we took a different path to get there, which more effort. I feel like the writing in this was more intricate than the writing in WandaVision.
Okay. Yeah, kind of.
I feel like the trials were more intricate than the
TV show.
Because in the WandaVision, we just jump through the eras.
Okay.
And the writing and the dialogue is good and the acting is really good.
Yeah.
But I feel like the trials add, like you said, a little bit more of the escape the room element to it. So you have to write a story and then you have to write a trial.
Right. And you have to write how the characters are going to get out of it.
And you have to write it and make it believable that it's difficult.
And you have to put that in the context of a TV show. It's not just like one show about one room. It's a show about multiple rooms. Yeah.
It was the whole reveal that that the Witch's Road is just something that he made up.
Yeah.
Is disappointing because it ruins the opportunity to do something much bigger and much more impactful.
Yeah. And my big disappointment is that you could have made the road still exist and could have kept the same story beats. Like you just could have had it to where Wiccan is so powerful he was able to open the road, and that still would have showed that he's his mama's son.
Yeah,
same thing.
Because the ending kind of just felt like a this again moment. Like here we are again. We're back in Billy Loomis's house.
Somebody was like, a Maximoff has altered reality again.
Once again.
That's literally what happened.
And now it's going to be like going forward. It's like, okay, so Billy's here. Is any of this real?
Right. Are we eating breakfast? Make this up?
Right.
Or are we just actually...
is Billy having a nervous breakdown again?
Are we dead? Like, I'm not quite sure.
Yeah.
You're right.
For me, the this is Billy definitive moment didn't need to be he made a hex just like Wanda. That moment was proven when he threw Agatha in the mud. That was his. You've exhausted my patience.
Well, the fact that he was able to give Agatha her power back.
I mean, she could have got power from anybody.
Well, but not out of the show though. Like at that point, they were off the road. Everybody else is gone or dead.
Oh, you're saying that was his other purpose? Was to give her power back?
I mean, that was his other show of power. Is that he can give power. Or, well, I guess she took it. Okay, you're right. So maybe not. Okay, nope.
Because I guess she could have took it from everybody except from Rio.
Right.
So.
Right. And the only two people there was Wiccan and Rio. And she couldn't get it from Rio. And you're right. So never mind.
And I just wasn't a fan of some of the elements the finale wrapped up. Lily and Alice and Sharon's names carved in the basement of a house nobody lives in. So one, if somebody moves there, it's gonna freak them out. So they probably won't buy the house.
You know whose house that is? It's Ralph Boner's house. We forgot to mention that, but Ralph Boner shows back up. Yeah. Because he is still Ralph Boner, by the way, and he is the one who Billy finds to get some backstory on Agatha, because Billy's trying to piece his life together, and Ralph Boner is one of the people residents of Westview that will talk to him. Mm-hmm. And Ralph Boner says that Agatha ruined my life. She took over my house. She did, because she is living in that man's house. And when Billy opens the road, he opens it up in Agatha's basement. So he closes it up and does like a tombstone. Yeah, I guess, for the 3 witches who died. And it's just kind of like, nope, nobody's coming here. Nobody's coming here. It's literally boards up on the windows.
And don't commemorate me on somebody's basement floor, you idiot.
First of all, of a place that nobody's coming to.
Nobody's going to come here. And now they probably think it's cursed.
Actually, the police are going to show up looking for Mrs. Hart.
Because 2 witch incidents have taken place in this neighborhood. So they're probably going to think it's cursed.
They're going to bulldoze it.
And the garden in the shape of a corpse is in the backyard.
Listen, they're going to bulldoze that junk. And then in 50 years, they're going to build a house over it.
It was kind of disappointing to find out that Lilia's life cycle is just dying in a teenager's hex.
I mean... She did sacrifice herself though for the rest of the coven to live. So she went out like a G. She still went out like a G. She took the Salem 7 with her, which was good because the Salem 7 were, I guess that could be a dislike, totally underutilized here. Yeah. I mean, I like the addition to them, but they literally didn't do anything. No. In this whole show. And Lilia takes them all out in one swell swoop.
We don't get any answers for how Agatha got the dark code. I guess it doesn't matter. Somebody was like, I mean, you can just pick up. The dark code just gets passed from person to person over time.
Wanda destroyed them all. So
and they're gone, so it doesn't matter.
It would have been nice to know.
But it's gone. It'll probably come up in like a what if or something. Okay. If they do like prequel stuff.
Okay, sure.
The dark code might pop up. And my only other... I had another dislike.
Yes.
Which I feel like a missed opportunity because they brought it up and quashed it really quickly.
What was that?
Did Billy kill that child to give Tommy a body? I feel like that was an interesting thing to bring up, and they kind of flopped on that because immediately after asking that question and disappearing, Agatha says no, and they should have left that open-ended.
Oh, you think they should have left it open?
Yeah, they should. It looked like somebody can perceive the way that scene played out, that it looked like he was assisting in the drowning of that boy, or at least not, or he could at least have helped if he was close enough to reach out to stick a spirit in his corpse. He was close enough to reach out to save him from drowning.
Or just because you flapping in a pool don't mean you gon' drown.
Right. So
somebody could have saved the boy where he was at.
Agatha immediately says no, that it didn't do it. But I thought that was a missed opportunity. And that would have been an area to do some better. That would have been a better way to wrap up the finale with questions of whether he killed somebody else. Because he's already a murderer. I mean, they're both murderers. They're a pair of murderers.
They say that. Now, people will argue, like, he's not a murderer.
He's a killer.
Lilia sacrificed herself. Alice was killed by Agatha. Maybe he's the fault for Mrs. It's like, no, he literally says, like,
he's a killer.
Agatha makes a joke like, oh, well, I have a bad habit of killing my covens. And he was like, so do I. And I'm like, he said it, I mean.
He's a killer. He's a killer. He's a cold-blooded killer. He's a killer. Agatha's a killer. Wanda's a killer. Black Widow's a killer. Clint's a killer.
Everybody kills somebody.
Everybody's a killer.
It's an Avengers life.
Yeah, Loki's a killer. So do we move the goalpost now?
Right. Because he's underage. So you got to do an asterisk of, well, but he, like, no, everybody in this show then took somebody out.
Yeah, everybody here is a killer.
Actually, Wanda was killing before she even became a witch, because that incident in Africa took some people out accidentally.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So.
Yeah.
All right. Favorite episode? Favorite line or scene?
Favorite episode would be number 7.
Mine too. That's hand in mine.
Yep. That is Lilia's scene where she does her time hopping. Very intricate. It's very
It sucks in hindsight now that her whole life's goal is to die in a made-up world.
I choose not to relate
beautiful.
Those two to. You're right. It's too beautiful to relate it. And then people were like, well, did she know that she was going? I was like, I mean, technically, yeah.
If she did, I wouldn't have.
Be like, I'm not going.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
I'm not going to die in no kid's playground.
But she served her purpose. She saved the coven. But that was my favorite episode. And my favorite scene would be out of that episode where she does her own tarot reading. That how they edited that all out. She's like flipping down the cards. And then we're going back and forth between scenes and the characters. Also like that scene.
Yeah. So, and like I said, it was a very well written depiction of time travel.
Yes.
Yeah. It was new. It was unique.
It's almost like Loki's time slipping.
Yes.
Which was also very good. If you haven't seen Loki has this very horrible looking way his body like spaghettis through time.
But it's kind of like, I guess, like seeing him slip the whole show and then not realize that he's actually been slipping. Yeah. It's
I would say Lilia's probably my favorite, and Loki's time slipping is probably my second favorite ways of people traveling through time in the MCU show.
Like, it's not a power I wish I would have, because it seems like it's awful and unmanageable, but it was illustrated very well.
Right. Like hers was painful in a metaphorical sense because she couldn't live life like a normal person, like literally through a normal person. And Loki's was painful because it literally looked painful.
Yeah.
Like, I like that they do it, and it's not like, oh, that just tickles. No, it hurts in my mind and in my body.
All right. So are we ready to get to our rating?
Did you have a favorite line or scene?
Yeah, it was Death's Hand in Mine. Oh, that was my favorite episode. I didn't have a favorite line or scene.
Okay. Mine was the tarot reading for Lilia. Would be my favorite scene. There's too many one-liners in this to have a favorite line.
Yeah, there's too many one-liners and too many scenes for me to have a favorite scene. But I think episode 7 was the high point of the series for me.
Yes, had the most of all of that, for
Absolutely.
Sure. Yep.
Okay, are you ready to do our rating?
I am. You go first.
So I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5.
Okay.
Nicole Kidmans.
Okay.
I removed one Nicole Kidman for the finale.
Yeah.
I think it deserved the docking for me. My notes for my reasoning for my rating is I love the show, but the finale did feel like a meeting that could have been an email.
Somebody else said that too.
It's the exact same thing. Like, you could have just copied the last email, pasted, and sent me a new one.
Yeah,
that's what the finale felt like to me personally.
And it sucks to feel that because you enjoy everything leading up to that, and at the end you're like, well, dang, that ain't what I wanted.
But to be fair,
yes,
MCU finales always feel like a race to the ending.
Okay.
Like MCU series finales always feel like it's
go,
paced,
go, 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 go,
it's
go,
paced balanced throughout the series, and then by the time they get to the finale, it always feels like they're trying to wrap it up very close.
Yeah.
Like they're under a time limit. MCU shows always stick a bunch of short episodes in the middle.
Which I don't
that make you
understand.
wonder. MCU shows always stick a bunch of short episodes in the middle that make you wonder. By the time you get to the finale, and there's so many loose ends and under questions,
wrap all this up?
You're questioning why they had so many 30-minute episodes in the middle.
That's what I said.
And that's all MCU shows, but it's the same here for Agatha.
We don't break the mode.
They don't break the mode. So, like I said, after you 1, 2, 4, 7, and 8.
That's how you need it.
That's the MCU series formula.
That's funny.
And the finale just did a lot to hurt the rest of the rewatching experience for me.
I understand. I'm going to give it a 4.25.
Okay.
Because even though I did not like Billy Made the Road Up, it was well executed.
Yeah.
The fact that it was well layered, it was well placed. I just decided that we are seeing things from Billy's life because he opened it up.
Yeah.
I was really hoping that he didn't make it. So my 0.75 is off of that because the rest of the show was so good, it made up for the fact for my disappointment.
Yeah. And it just sucks that the Witch's Road is no longer a thing that matters in the MCU because it's just for fun pocket dimension.
Where would you put this on MCU? Like, you ain't got to go through all the MCU shows, but top 3. Would this fit your top 3?
No.
Okay. What would you put 3? I'm just curious.
WandaVision, Loki.
Okay.
This was not better than Moon Knight for me. I am so sorry, but Oscar Isaac's acting in Moon Knight tops wipes the floor clean for Agatha All Along for me. Oscar Isaac's acting as a person with multiple personalities throughout Moon Knight. Yeah. Amazing.
You know what? Agatha and Moon Knight is really fighting for number 3 for me.
And the Billy reveal was great.
Yeah.
But finding out Mark had a third murderous personality.
Oh, he did.
Was still earth-shattering for me.
The scene where he flips personalities in the middle of the street.
And he doesn't remember them. He just wakes up, he snaps and somebody's dead. Yeah. That's so good.
Okay, so you're right. This
Moon
might
Knight
be number
is in my top 3.
This might be number 40. Dang, you're right.
Even though I really had a really, really, really good time watching the show and having discussions, and it was really, really fun.
Yes.
It's not my top 3, but it is in my top 5.
Our rating is exactly the same. I would say WandaVision. I would say Loki season 2. I would be very specific and say Loki season 2. Moon Knight, and then probably Agatha would probably be underneath that.
Yeah.
Because Loki season 2, just Loki's whole journey, and those last couple episodes was just super good.
Yeah.
And Victor Timely getting spaghettied is one of my favorite scenes from any MCU.
Also extremely shocking after all that build-up.
One of my favorite scenes of any Marvel show is him getting spaghettied. So, and then WandaVision's it's WandaVision. I don't think anything's topping that for a while. So, that is our ratings.
So I do have some small requests. I don't want a season 2. I know a lot of people they want a season 2 of Agatha All Along because they want to. We don't have time.
Because
the discourse is that Vision Quest won't be about Tommy. It'll be about Vision.
That's fine.
And they want Agatha All Along season 2 for Tommy. No. I don't need another show to find another child. We got one. First
of all, it's called. Didn't it make it Tommy All Along?
No. We got a series of finding one child. Let's just assume that Jack can copy and paste an adventure for Tommy. Find Tommy off screen or just introduce him in a movie.
Yeah.
Just throw him in Secret Wars or something. We don't need a series about finding
Make
Tommy.
him an after credit scene somewhere in Vision Quest. I'm fine. I don't need a season 2 because
we did this.
Well, and we know where they're going to find Tommy. So at the end, if they don't find Tommy, we're going to be like, why am I here?
And because we've gotten WandaVision and Agatha All Along, and I feel like because they are so similar, I kind of can expect how that's gonna go. Yeah. So we got it. This is enough.
No,
I don't think we need another season to explore them finding Tommy. They can find Tommy on their own time.
People also are hoping for a season 2 to get more of Rio and Agatha's backstory, and I don't think we're getting it.
They can explore that in a comic, and if you really want it, you'll read it.
Yeah, I don't think we don't have time.
Yeah.
We do not have time. I'm sorry.
I don't think that they should bring Jen back. I think Jen got her happy ending, and they should leave Jen alone.
Fair.
Jen just finished 100 years of suffering.
I can't even fight you on that.
Love Shazir Zamata. Love the fact that her happy ending and we may never see her again.
Because people are like, oh, she's going to be in Midnight Suns. And I was like, but is she going to live in that one? Is she gonna have to go through struggle?
Of course, if they offer you a check, absolutely take it and show up and whatever.
We would love to see you, but we want to see you happy.
Bringing Jen back is not mandatory.
I want to see her happy. Maybe she could be like a side character in the movie that's like living her life like it's golden, and she just gives some advice and then goes about her business.
Let's get to Wanda.
Yeah.
My big note is let's get to Wanda, and the reason is because we've only gotten 2 witch things in the MCU, and both of them have been. Wanda gets credit for this.
Oh, they dropped Wanda's name and reference Wanda so much in this. I okay that she wasn't in this. That's fine. Yeah. We don't need to have Wanda and Wiccan in Agatha's show, but clearly she coming.
Wanda is the OG hex maker, so she gets credit for this hex as well.
I mean,
so
it's her son.
Clearly, Jack Schaefer has Wanda on the brain. Just let her do some Wanda stuff.
Let her do the movie.
Although I will say I know for a fact.
Yeah.
And you can quote me on this.
Okay.
And if you're listening,
it's on record.
Audio record, and if you're video record, you can clip it.
We don't delete episodes.
I know for a fact.
Yeah.
That if Jack Schaefer helms the Scarlet Witch movie, it's gonna be a hex. I know that for a fact.
No.
And you can quote me on that.
Kevin gonna be like, okay, girl, let's do something else this time.
It's gonna be a hex. It's gonna be hex.
What kind of hex?
Who knows?
Okay.
That's her thing.
No.
She is we're in the hex side.
We love Jack Schaefer, and Jay is just.
I'm gonna watch it.
Being funny.
I'm gonna watch it.
I don't think so.
We are.
I do hope she does the movie though. I just hope. No, she's not gonna do a hex. Don't do that. Don't give her that idea. I'm just playing.
I don't have to give it to her clearly.
Okay. Yeah. I would like to see. We're not gonna see Billy and Agatha, I think, for a very long time.
And I think that's good.
I think that's fine. I think it's good that they didn't try to set us up that we were going to see them soon in the after credit scene. Mm-hmm. I am excited to see how Young Avengers now starts playing out.
I wonder if they're still going to call them Young Avengers.
Probably not.
Because they're all like adults.
Grown Avengers.
They should just call them Avengers.
Paying bills Avengers. But I also am ready to get to Wanda. What I don't want is for us to have to go through all of Vision Quest, all of Young Avengers, and then or whatever they call it, and then be like, okay, now we get to Wanda.
And Wanda's gonna show up in Secret Wars.
You think so?
Yeah, and there's a comic storyline where she's like, after she has her nervous breakdown, the only other person in the world who understands being evil and being magical is Doctor Doom. So she's like camping out at his fortress for a little bit because nobody will find her there and leave her alone. Okay. But that's also in a separate universe, so I don't even think that'll be the same Wanda. And I do think I do think our Wanda is dead. Sure. Because Rio said she's dead. And gone. Rio wouldn't know.
Yeah, she did say that witch is gone. And people are like, oh, but she didn't say dead. I'm like, I mean, how would you resurrect a woman that was crushed?
Rio would know. You
know what I think, though? I think that if they did do a second season, which they don't really need to do, no, because that's redoing the same thing. I was going to say they can have Billy put Wanda's soul in a different body that just happens to look like Elizabeth Olsen.
I mean, why not? They're soul stealers.
No, don't do that either, guys.
They can get brown hair Wanda from the other universe.
Yeah, no, she won't be left. I think she's tired. I don't think she won't be bothered with none of these people from our universe. She'd be like, no, I already told y'all no. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out next. But I am ready for Wanda for sure.
All right, so that is our review of Agatha All Along. If you have not checked it out, you're a fool. It's so good.
Now, one last question. Do you think people need to watch WandaVision before watching this? I say yes.
Yeah. Because it's so centric on Billy.
And it's not as enjoyable because you will not understand all the Wanda references. You'll just be like, oh, Wanda? No, this is important stuff.
Yeah, Wanda is carrying this show on her back. Listen. And she's not even in it, so.
She is referenced, like, if we was taking shots every time she was referenced, Chad, this our Davis would be gone. Yeah, you hear me?
I think WandaVision is absolutely required watching. And Multiverse of Madness.
I agree, which I will defend until my last days. By the way,
Multiverse of Madness was an enjoyable movie.
I'm not getting on that soapbox because people gonna take me there, but that was a good movie. Yeah. Yes. Watch both. And
it
then
wasn't
watch
a hex.
This. It was not.
So?
It was not.
Different.
It was. You're correct. You're correct. All right. So that is all for this episode. What are we watching next week? Flip to the other notes.
Oh.
Flip. You want me to tell the people? All right.
Yeah.
Heretic. I hope it's
Are we really watching Heretic next week?
Okay, pause. Do you think I'm not going to be able to handle it?
No.
Oh, now you just saying that because you want to go see it.
No, I mean, after we watched that last trailer, I don't think it's ghoulish. Okay. It doesn't seem jump scary. It seems more unsettling. Have you seen the trailer for Suspense or The Presence?
No. What is
the
that?
Lucy Liu movie?
No.
It's a movie about a family being haunted, but the film is shot from the perspective of like the ghost.
That's probably worse.
No, I was like, you would love this. Because you are very anti-ghost and ghoul, but you would be the ghost and ghoul in this movie. So you would be watching from the corner.
Watch the trailer.
Yeah, it looks
good.
Isn't
it a horror movie that came out that was from the perspective of the serial killer?
Yes, but that movie I heard was terrible.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, and they're supposed to be making a sequel. So
okay.
Yeah.
So you think I'm gonna be able to handle Heretic?
I do. The Heretic doesn't look spooky. It looks like ghoulish, like otherworldly, but it does look unsettling.
I don't mind unsettling.
But also, Us wasn't otherworldly, but you did not like
Well, Us. I didn't watch Us because I thought it was going to be like that.
No, Us was humans.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the clones.
And they just look kind of crazy, right?
They just look like clones who had been left in the lab for too long. But,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't watch it because I thought it was going to be like that.
No, there was nothing ghoulish about that.
Okay, I'm still not going to go back.
I'll be interested to see Heretic, yes.
Okay.
I'm excited now. Yes, I did not know that was on our slate next week. What was it going to be?
I think Red Notice come out this weekend. Is it so I had Red Notice initially because there was nothing on the slate, and then you protested with all your life. Like I was like,
there's so many other Anora,
let me find something else.
There's other things.
And then I was like, well, Heretic don't look like super ghoulish, so I think I can handle it. So we'll watch that instead.
All right, excited.
All right, hopefully I survive. We'll see. Listen to our show to see if I slept good the night before.
Okay, so thanks for listening. If you like our show, please share it. You can leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or on our website at vaguelynerdypodcast.com, where you can also leave us a voice message where we will play it on the show if it is nice.
And if it's not, I will record a rebuttal.
You can follow us on Twitter at VaguelyNerdyPod or IG at VaguelyNerdyPodcast, Threads on at VaguelyNerdyPodcast.
Yep.
And you can reach us at VaguelyNerdyPodcast@gmail.com. If you are listening to our audio version of our podcast on streaming, you can watch our animated version on YouTube.
Yep.
Vaguely Nerdy Podcast.
I have purple hair.
Yes.
But if you can't see it if you just listen to on the podcast app. You gotta go to YouTube, see my purple hair.
Yes.
All right. Until next episode.
Bye.
Bye.